Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the newest episode of the Theater Enthusiast podcast. We have a very special episode today. Are you guys excited? Why are you muted?
Absolutely.
So
I'm
pumped.
excited.
We're so
Brandon's
Stop
pumped.
muted.
muting yourself.
I just mute when I'm not talking.
I'm going to yell at you every time you mute yourself.
You're gonna be yelling at me a lot then. I promise you, I'm so
You
fast
know
with
what?
the mute
Nothing
button. I'll
has
go on
changed
and
in
off.
the 18 years that we've known each other.
That's true.
I know. I just threw up in my mouth over time. It's an illusion. Anyway, so I am here with creative team and the cast of Foxbrier Lane, a brand new musical. And you know what? Because I already told them like I'm too tired to intro every single one of them, so I'm just gonna have them do it themselves and just say who you are and how you're a part of the project and who wants to go first. Muted, unmute. Who wants to go first?
I'll do it. I'll
Uh,
do it. No, I'm doing it, Aiton. Calm down. All right. Hey guys, I'm Brandon Nicholas Pfeltz. The middle name is very important, so please don't leave that out. I'm the writer of Foxbrier Lane, one of the writers. I'm the composer and lyricist, and also co-book writer with this guy over here, who is.
oh yeah, I'm Aitan Shachar. I think I said that last name right. I'm not sure. I am the co-book writer of Foxbrier Lane with this guy over here.
I like how you're pointing. We're on a Zoom
Yeah.
That's right. They
and
can
nobody
imagine.
can even see that you're pointing
Theater
and
is
you're
about using
pointing
your
this way.
imagination.
And in my view, he's on top of you. I don't,
All right. Well,
I don't, guys, it's going to be a
it's like the
really fun
Brady Bunch.
podcast. I
This
can,
guy over here.
oh,
It's
there
all
he is.
right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
He's
gonna guess that it's
like,
me. I'm gonna go now. My name's Gerard Canonico, and I am one of the actors in the show. And I got involved during the pandemic, which was really exciting for me because we did like a weird little Zoom reading thing. But immediately from that moment, I was like hooked, and I knew they had something really special. And so it's really nice to see after all this time, it's got so much more life to it now, and it's nice to be talking about it. So
yeah.
yeah,
Don't worry. We're going to get so much more into it. Don't worry.
hell
I
yeah.
think everybody was involved.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Who's
I'm Brian. I'm
This
Brian Charles Johnson. I am also an actor like Gerard in Foxbrier Lane. And I really love it too. And, I'm just dying to get into this, little talk about. So
Thank you
giddy up.
guys for
Here we go.
saying that. We'll Venmo you after. Just
yeah.
request us.
Very
So
I'll
cool.
send you
Well,
Yeah.
my rate.
yeah. So let's talk from the very beginning. I always ask where everybody is from. So where are you from and what got you interested in the theater?
God,
Please,
I
anybody
mean,
jump in.
I'm from Buffalo, New York.
Okay.
Um, I came to New York City to go to NYU in 2003 and have been here ever since. I studied theater at NYU and Tisch at Atlantic Theater Company. And I've always just loved theater, going to the like national tour house shows at Shays Theater in Buffalo was basically my childhood with my mom who had the season passes for all the musicals. So that's probably where it was. And then I'm just like, I've always been a little ham who's wanted to just make people laugh and cry and just feel emotions. So
Yeah. I
that's
saw you in
that's a little bit
I
about
saw
me.
you in a comedic musical reading like a month or so ago.
Mm.
I don't know if we're allowed to like
Oh,
divulge too much of it, but
sure. Yeah,
the,
I
We
don't
can't talk
know
about
either,
anything
but
else
yeah.
other than our
Yeah, did you
show,
sign a
Allison.
NDA maybe or?
no, guys, that Aiton, that is lies because we're gonna also talk about Spring Awakening.
Fair.
Hey,
That's where Brandon and I first met, and
I
he fell
was
in love
also
with
in
me.
that
God,
And
as
then
well.
like a few months
terrible
later,
show.
we're playing brother and sister in a show. So there you go.
True, true,
Oh,
True, magic.
true.
So yes, let's go. Gerard, your turn.
Yes. I'm my name's Gerard. I'm from New Jersey. I feel like I'm doing an interview for some weird new job.
You are.
Um,
it
So
yeah,
could
what
be.
are
You
your
never know. He's
strengths and your
listening.
weaknesses? No,
I would I would say my weaknesses outweigh my strengths. So we're not going to start with those.
no.
Uh,
You can
I
always say
got into
like your
theater.
weaknesses, like you learn from your weaknesses.
It's
So, like
true. I learned from
build
my
on your
life
strength.
mistakes. That's for damn sure.
There you go.
Um, I got interested in theater at a very very young age. My parents took me to all kinds of stuff when I was like 2 3 years old. Like as soon as they could bring a baby into the theater, they did. and they saw that I enjoyed playing pretend. And so when I was like 8 years old, I auditioned for Les Miserables and booked it and did a Broadway production of Les Mis,
Mhm.
the like OG run. It was like, I don't know, 15 to 20 years on, probably more, on Broadway. Um, but I was only in it for like a year and a half, but it was awesome. It was like my gateway drug into theater. And from that point on, I was doing New York theater, and I have not really stopped, which is really great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's next? Unmute yourself. Oh my God.
Oh my God, I'm gonna stay muted. I told you that's just my policy. I'm just gonna stay muted until I'm called on or spoken to.
No, but like
Anyway,
it's a podcast, so we gotta like you can interject. You know
all
what I'm
right, all
saying? Like
right, all right.
This
yeah,
also coming
I'll
from the
stay
guy who like
unmuted.
DM'd me today and he's like, "Oh, wait until you hear our interactions with like me and Gerard."
No,
he,
actually, you
he's
said I'm
putting
very
himself on
curious to
mute.
see your interaction.
Give me
That's
a
what you
break.
said.
No, I
I
said
said,
I can't wait to see the dynamic.
well, this
People
is the
are really
dynamic.
listening in for this.
Yeah.
Hope you enjoy
Welcome.
it. I'll go next
Yeah.
though. Yeah, so I don't know. I've always, I've loved theater since I first saw I saw Man of La Mancha at a community theater and I loved it. It was
Am I
fantastic.
Don Quixote?
Bro.
You know,
That one.
knowing
We're doing
Brandon,
that
just
next.
like learning that fact about you and knowing you as long as I have, I literally just said to myself, that makes sense.
It makes sense, right? You
It
would think
really
that.
does.
Like I would be the kind
Really
of
does
person
make
that would
sense.
listen to Man of La Mancha. But
Dude,
it's a
I
great
saw
musical.
Robert Goulet in that in
Oh,
Buffalo
dude, no way. Did
growing
you?
up. Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude.
Oh, dude, I would have
That was
loved to
one of the
see
shows I
that.
went with my mom. Yeah.
That
But
would have been
Yeah.
Brian,
so
can you
good.
do the Will Ferrell Robert Goulet?
Oh my God. Yes, those are
Do it
my
right now.
favorite. Goulet. He would be
Robert
playing a clown to
Goulet.
fix a leak in the John, would you?
Way.
Why these schooners are tearing up the biz. Anyway,
We're off to a great start.
Where are you
So,
do
from,
it.
Brandon?
look, I'm from Baltimore. And yeah, I loved Man of La Mancha, and then I got into theater. I the first community theater show I ever did was Footloose, and I remember I was like a little like 14-year-old boy, and I got up there and I sang "Make Them Hear You" from Ragtime. Um, like first off, not even a good song choice, like for a little 14-year-old white boy in
Awful song
the
choice,
middle
actually.
of Hartford County, Maryland. I bet I didn't know any better. And then number two, like also for Footloose. Like in what world
Yeah.
are those shows even
I
If you
don't know.
love
remotely
You're fighting for
ragtime,
the
you're
approaching?
right
gonna
to
love
dance, baby.
Footloose. Yeah.
Right? That's right. It's about justice. So
Yeah, it's not a
uh
crime to dance. That's what Jeremy Kushner always says.
love that song.
Yeah.
But it's all yeah, it's and then it's just, I've just loved musicals, I've loved writing, I've loved plays, and then it's just kind of snowballed and now here we are.
Yeah. All right. Last but not least.
Yeah, I'm originally from Israel. I moved to America when I was 8 years old, and I grew up in Connecticut. Yeah, when I was a kid, I barely knew English. I was, pretty shy, and I think I never really started coming out of my shell until I went to this theater camp, the Hartford Children's Theater. Yeah, and I think, just basically a few weeks into that theater camp, I fell in love with the arts and I really came out of my shell. And yeah, I think to this day, like I credit going to theater camp with like how I became, like who I am really.
Yeah, now he's like super loud and abrasive,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, and
Yeah.
now I'm just annoying. Yeah,
Borderline
I
too
used to be
much.
cool.
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
his
it's the
opinions are.
headsets. Like that's why it's good that he has them because they need someone like him for like traffic,
Yeah.
air traffic
I
control.
really
Honestly,
I
Yeah.
wish
He
the audience
overshot
could
it a
see
little
what he
bit,
was
but
wearing.
Yeah, well,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's on you
We'll
guys.
Another
give
I'm
white
you
gonna
like
have
a
the
t-shirt
best
no
sound
doubt.
this
screenshot
whole
group
place.
photo later.
Yes, yes.
Just be like,
So we were working together recently, and I noticed that Aiton was wearing a
I knew you
white
were gonna bring this
t-shirt.
up. I knew it. This is
Like
why I
The
went.
white t-shirt.
like 3 days in a row, he's wearing this white t-shirt and blue jean situation. And I had this thought the third day that I was like, I'm going to say something about his white t-shirt. And he actually answered the door and without me prompting said, I know I've been wearing a white t-shirt for 3 days. They're different t-shirts. I just have, it's like he read my mind. I was like, this motherfucker has been wearing the same shirt for 3 days.
Bro,
And
I was in his apartment earlier that morning and he put
yeah,
on that white t-shirt again and he literally turns to me and he goes, as soon as I see Gerard, I'm gonna tell him that this isn't the Steve White t-shirt.
I don't know how you like knew I was gonna say some shit.
Why do you care?
It was amazing. And you're
If
wearing
I had a white shirt,
and
I
I
would get
bet it's
exactly
new.
one wear out of it, and it would instantly have a stain on it.
Exactly.
Could
Every day
never
I go to the
be.
store and I buy
It's
a
just
new
done.
white shirt
Yeah,
just
yeah.
to make sure.
That's it.
This is my Ed Sheeran look, guys. So
Okay.
Because you look so much like him.
Fitting image.
Yes.
Fitting
Uncanny.
image.
So I want to talk really quickly about Spring Awakening, and we don't have to delve too much into it because Brian and Gerard, you've been talking about it for like almost 20 years at this point.
Whatever.
It like really made me nauseous for saying that because time is an illusion. But I'm
Yeah,
bringing
yeah,
it
no.
up because that's actually where Brandon and I first met, was at the stage door of Spring Awakening.
Well, that's where Brian and I first met. So,
The
Yeah.
stage door of Spring Awakening?
Well, not at the stage door,
not
but
at
you
the
know.
stage door.
General
At Newport,
vicinity.
too.
Yes.
Yeah,
Well, no,
yeah.
that's how I know you guys met because we were in the cast together. And it's so funny too because we
Right.
have two Moritzes among us as well. And as a fan of Spring Awakening, I know that there were what were the Spring Awakening fans called? I don't remember.
Guilty ones.
The guilty
Oh, yeah.
ones. Yeah.
Because I know like the guilty ones made a big
Spring
thing.
Breakers.
Allison, you remembered that. You just didn't want to admit that
No,
you knew
I
it.
honestly don't remember that at all.
Spring
I was
Breakers would have been a great name.
I was on
Yeah.
that Guilty Ones forum.
I was not, I don't even know
Spring
how to forum,
Breakenings.
so I don't even know where to find it. I just loved Spring Awakening and I saw it a shit ton of times, but I remember it was a big deal. Brian, you went on once as Moritz, right?
Yeah, a couple times. Yeah.
Oh, a couple?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was like
Yeah,
one.
I went on once, like within the first year on Broadway, I think, or like second year maybe, um, and then my last day I was able to play Moritz for the matinee, and then end it as Otto for the last show, which was really awesome.
What a full circle moment.
Yeah, but like I understudied from off Broadway the whole time through Broadway and really never got to go on until like those last two times, which was pretty awesome that they let me do that.
Yeah,
But
because I know
yeah,
that
that was
was
a blast.
a big thing for the guilty ones, as I have now relearned what they were called.
Yes,
then,
yeah,
yes.
exactly.
And then Gerard, you were very famous for breaking chairs
Yes, I sure was.
in the
Yeah.
ensemble.
Sure,
And
rock.
I did sit next to you at one point while seeing
God,
the
I'm
show,
so
and it was
sorry.
like it all makes sense now out of all
Yeah.
of the things that I've heard.
Yeah.
And then you
They
eventually took over for more. Sorry, go ahead.
no, they had to reinforce my chair too. So like the Bitch of Living chairs were all reinforced because of all the choreography that the guys had to do on them.
Mhm.
But like the normal, like the ensemble chairs were just like wooden chairs normally, and people jumped with like enthusiasm but landed without heavy feet. I was like 17 and was just filled with enthusiasm and like okay, like I went nuts. I broke like 5 chairs. I went through like five chairs for sure.
Yeah, we did.
Until they
least.
like went, hey, we're gonna reinforce your chair only. So the problem is the chairs like had this nice angle. The listeners can't see the amazing visual I'm giving them. They had this nice angle like that, so you could sit back. And then the reinforced ones were kind of like this, so it was a little forward. So I had to like kind of sit a little bit forward, and I sat in those chairs for like a year and a half, every night, all night.
So how much physical therapy did you need after?
I'm still screwed. Like I have injuries.
Scoliosis.
I went to my
for sure.
chiropractor and they were like, whoa, your C6 is at a phase 2 of deterioration out of 3. It's like, yeah,
Damn.
headbanging was my choreography. So what do you mean, you know?
Well,
What do you
you
expect?
eventually took over for, the
Yeah.
role, and
Yeah.
you didn't have to sit in the weird angled
No,
chair.
it was amazing, man. But it was also like, thinking back on it, it was fucking terrifying. And I was just kind of living in this like, okay, Gerard, this is currently what you're doing, so you just do it now. And it was like,
Yeah.
it didn't feel real. It felt very like, and then, the show got its closing notice and it was like a whole thing. So it was kind of like, oh God, I'm like the last Moritz. Like, is this really happening right now? And looking back on it, I kind of wish that I had taken different approaches to certain things and certain aspects of that job. It was also super tough because you're a kid being directed by a bunch of adults that treated you like kids. So if we're talking real talk, I never
It's
felt
kind of similar to what Spring Awakening is about.
correct.
I've never heard of it. Yeah.
There was this idea since I joined the company for the Broadway show that, and I witnessed it a lot from the outside, like
Mhm.
watching the onstage company, like the Tony Award winning original Broadway cast, Brian Charles Johnson included, myself included, but like watching the show every night, it's like you really saw like what made the show really special. And I feel like there was a way to direct that to the other people that wasn't to make them feel like they were broken inside in order to deliver. There
Yeah.
was like this idea to break you down in order to build you back up. But the problem was there was no building back up. So it was a lot of stress. It was like a lot of, I never really felt like I went out on stage and I was like, fuck yeah, I'm playing Moritz right now. It was just like, oh God, I hope this is truthful. You believe? Like, it just felt like that. Like I never
Yeah.
felt like I could really, I mean, I felt dropped in, but it was like, that was always sort of back here yelling at me the whole time. And then like when it was over, it was just like, thank God. You know?
I thought you were great as Moritz, though. I did see you as Moritz.
Well, I think that fear also
That's great.
probably fit into the character. So
Oh,
like,
sure.
Yeah.
It's a lot of
Yeah.
pressure, and it's a like a legacy to uphold in a way. I mean, there's just so
Yeah.
much.
and there was a lot of
Yeah,
pushback. Like I'm sure Brian, you ran into this too in rehearsals. Like Brian and I are such different performers from like John Gallagher, right? So
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the way we express stress and anxiety and whatever is going to look different to an audience. And I worked very hard with the director and with everybody pretty much to be like, hey, I'm not John and I'm not going to make this read like he did. Like, so just let me do something different here. And
Mhm.
eventually they did. And it was kind of a fight. It's a little bit of,
Yeah, I
Let
know. I
me
mean, you realize in those type of shows that are just like new that how scripted every like move has to become. Just like because our whole process with Spring Awakening was about like finding it in the room and like being able to explore and whatever. I'll never forget that like when you got to Broadway and everything just like had to be like, wait, Brian, what's that head swivel you do in Bitch of Living? And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like the like I get in the guy's face. Is that you're like, now I know that that move is like, I never considered it a move. I just like did it. And now it's like a head swivel for Otto's track towards the teacher. It's like bizarre realizing how, however
and,
they
and it,
lock it in and it has to be the same.
and it
Um,
worked because of how you approached it, I feel, which is
right. Well,
like I know
and how
exactly the move.
that's what
It's to
surprised me about
Steven. I
this. Yeah,
remember it. Like
this process, like when adding in like replacements and stuff, like they never got to do that process, which is what made the show so organic, I feel. Which is a shame because like they just wanted everyone to replace and be whatever the performers before them were, and that's not really what the how the show's done. So I've loved like seeing other productions of it. I mean, the Deaf West production of it was amazing, but I don't need to dive into all that. But that, yeah,
You
in
can if you want
special
to. I
show.
mean, I know
in
we're
your
here for Foxbrier Lane, but
Yeah,
But
I know. We got to
I'm
get to the.
curious though. I'm curious about this, like in terms of like beyond choreography and like when it comes down to the acting aspect of
mm.
things. In your experience, I mean, whether with Spring Awakening or with the other shows you guys have done, how particular is that? Like when a replacement comes in, like do they like how particular are they with wanting you to mimic
Super,
those
It
movements?
is
Are they?
so to the
super
like,
to
yeah,
the
to
T.
like almost the look to the T. Yeah,
That's wild.
And like, so
it's.
I remember when they brought Blake Bashoff in, who did a wonderful job as Moritz, I thought. But
Mhm.
the coolest thing about him was that his physical emotions and the way that he expressed himself physically was very similar to how Johnny did. And either they directed him that way or whatever, but he his physicalities made sense in the
Mhm.
Johnnyisms.
Hmm.
I remember there's this one, it's another head, not a swivel, but a slow, the Moritz slow head turn with the
Oh yeah.
gas. When Melchior finally stands up before the, all that's known song and stands up to the teacher, um, Moritz has this beat that Johnny used to get this amazing laugh, every night. And look, Johnny got laughs because he's telling the truth, right? So whatever he's dealing with, whatever he does that makes the audience laugh is because he's responding truthfully as John, as Moritz in that moment, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But like they tried so hard to get me to like nail this like gasp turn thing. And I'm like, guys, it's gonna read like shtick. Like it's not gonna read like truth because I don't it's just not how I'm playing the part, y'all. And
Yeah.
so it was like a battle. And then, I had so much as like one of our top producers came into my dressing room at like a half hour before one of the shows and found a bootleg of me. Yeah, when I went on for John, and it was like a last minute thrown on for Johnny, Tony Award winning Johnny Gallagher Jr. for Moritz, and I'm like 18. I was like, and like they threw me in there, and Tom, I just said his name,
Yep.
looked at the video, and he went like, "Do you see this? Where's the desperation? Where is this?" And he says this to me like 2 months into my run. I'm like, bro, what? Like, get out of my dressing room. Like, you know what I mean? It's happening. And what are you doing looking at a bootleg of our show? And he's
Right.
like, where is this? Where is this emotion? I was like, yeah, I was scared shitless for sure. Like, I've also taken time with the character and approached it differently. They left me alone, came back to see the show, and were like, oh, that was it. Where was that? I was like, well, if you had left me alone in the beginning, that's the result you would have had. But it took you like 4 months to trust me, and now we're closing in 2. So good job, guys. Like it's a thing with like putting people in. You have to take the people you have and use their strengths. Like fucking use the people you have.
It's
Oh,
always interesting in doing these things and talking to people who have been replacements or understudies because you want to honor what was done, but you also want to make it your own.
yeah. In
And
order to tell the truth, like you would
exactly.
just want to tell the truth and serve the story. And so if I can't serve the story doing it like the other guy,
Yeah.
let me find a new pathway in. Like,
Mhm.
that's sort of it.
Yeah. And I also find with certain audience members where they are very like, oh, I thought this person was better. It's like, well, you're seeing a different person and you're
Yeah.
seeing their take on the role, not to name drop names in my personal life, family members. Um, they're not
Well,
gonna,
and it's also like that specific performance that you saw too, which is like,
yeah.
who knows? That person could be like so sick and like
Yeah.
not on their game or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
If you never know.
Yeah, I remember talking to somebody and being like, there's so many bootlegs out there of me in this show, and people don't understand that, like, if you're doing a bootleg, I might not be in the best vocal health that day or blah, blah, blah. And I think the audience, and I've been seeing shows for over 30 years, not to age myself, but I just did. And I've come to learn that, like, you just gotta let performers do their thing, and everybody is different, and you don't know what people are going through.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm always amazed when people are like on their A game and I go see like a Wednesday matinee.
Hmm.
It's like,
Oh yeah.
they sounded amazing. And it's like, is that really, did we fool people like that when I was doing a Broadway show? Like, that's really, oh my
Yeah.
God, I was
Yeah.
just
Oh,
conditioned
yeah.
to do that. Like, it's crazy to think because when you're not doing a show,
Hmm.
you're not, your body's not, I'm not singing every single day. I'm not singing
Yeah.
every day. So, like, the thought of having to do that and seeing people do it effortlessly again, you're just like, whoa, yeah, this is athleticism.
Yeah.
But we
I like
would like to sing every day with
Every day.
Foxbrier Lane.
Yeah.
Guys, look, I'm a
Oh, we're
big
here
fan of
talking
Spring
about that
Awakening,
show?
so
We're
No, I
talking
was
about
gonna,
Foxbrier Lane.
I love the
This is just going to
stories.
be
I
an
mean,
interview about Spring Awakening.
yeah,
It's
right.
juicy though. It's so
It's just like
juicy.
I'm occasionally adding commentary to it. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
you know why, Brandon? It's because you're not muted. See what
I'm not
happens
muted. I'm
when you're
not muted
not
anymore.
muted?
I went
You
off
can
mute for
you can
you.
say things and you
Oh my
can
Yeah.
God.
take over the podcast and ask podcast
I went off
questions.
mute for you. Here I am. I
Thank
hope you're
you.
happy.
Greatly
Yes, man.
appreciate that.
Look, yes, man.
Yes, man.
That's become our rallying cry of Foxbrier Lane.
Yes.
Yes, man.
Yes,
Yes,
man.
man.
Oh, but
I
do
don't
you
know if
add an accent to saying yes,
there
ma'am?
is an accent. There's a slight
Kind
kind of
of.
like
Yeah.
Irish
There's.
lilt almost.
Oh, well, can you share it?
I don't know if we can do that.
Oh, okay. It's in
No,
her.
no. So the dad, the guy that played the dad in the 54 Below concert was
Oh,
Ken Jennings,
yep.
right? And Ken Jennings, every time he talked, man, it was like, oh man, how's it going, man? And amazing accent, but he's got this just like kind of natural Irish lilt to his accent. And I just remember seeing him like off stage during the 54 Below concert and watching these two, and he was just so excited and so happy. And his head was bobbing and he was smiling so much and he was transfixed. But he had this catchphrase that, well, we've made it a catchphrase. I don't even think he said it that much. But when he was really excited, he would be like, "Yes, man." And so now that's become the rallying cry of the show. It's going to be on the t-shirts at the
Oh,
show.
nice. Is
Yeah.
that going to be on the front or the back?
Maybe both,
Perfect.
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah.
We
Show
want to leave
jacket.
you feeling good.
Okay.
So
Ethan, do you want to add anything? I feel like you're just being really quiet.
I'm just listening. I'm happy. I'm excited. This is so much fun.
Okay, great. So the reason, again, I bring up Spring Awakening is because that's where Brandon and I first met, and we're going to talk about my history with the two of them because it goes way back. I saw Spring Awakening a lot with my old roommate. We met him at the stage door. I don't even know
Mhm.
how we just like became friends at the stage door.
I
There's
think it was
photos
because
of us together with
Doug,
John
do you
Gallagher
remember
Jr.
you remember my well with I got photos with these two schmucks too.
I know you
And
sent them to me.
we look great. Do you remember my friend Doug
Yeah,
Krantz by any chance?
yeah.
Doug, who, he would talk to anyone, and I'm pretty sure that he struck up a conversation. But Doug is like now the associate director of pop music marketing at Warner Brothers. Um, Manages like a ton of artists. I think he's actually going to be doing the album art too for Foxbrier because he does anything that I ask him to. He's an amazing dude. So shout out Doug.
Nice.
But I'm pretty
Oh, I think Brandon
Oh,
froze.
did Brandon freeze?
sure that Doug
Yeah.
No,
struck
this
up that
is he
conversation
does
because
this.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, Brandon, you
I
froze. And it was
I
a
do.
really like nice shot of you too.
Oh, good. I do that every now and then. What
He
the
does
fuck?
this.
Sorry, why is there music playing? Hold on.
Is it
What are you
Foxbrier
listening
Lane
to?
music?
No, I don't know what it is.
so
Hold on. There's like music playing in the background of my. Hold on.
Go ahead. Can
Allison,
you
I gotta
mute
go
mute
on mute
yourself
for
for
a
a second,
second.
Brandon?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, now
Brandon,
that
can you
Brandon's
can
muted
you
you
just
guys,
go?
should we kick him out of the Zoom?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
done.
He's really
yeah,
harshing the
yeah.
vibe.
Yeah, he needs to learn his lesson. He's just like talking with his hands now.
He's crashing out, as the kids
Mhm.
Yeah,
say.
Crashing out.
it's happened. At least he shaved last time
It's
I
all
saw
part
him.
of his
Well, look,
process.
we're done. Look, this is why I go on mute, right? I don't know. Like, there you go. Perfect example of why I go on mute. When these, sorry, there was music playing. I accidentally hit the play button on my iTunes, I think, so it started playing.
It brought some
Um,
like nice ambiance to your
good.
description of us meeting.
Good, I'm glad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
set the tone.
yeah, Doug, I think struck up a conversation, and I think you guys were also sitting on stage for that performance. You and
Probably. I
you and
mean, we
Mai,
were
right?
yeah, I was with my old roommate Mai, and
Yeah,
we probably were sitting on stage because we tend to do that. We did do that a lot. Again, how we sat next to
Nice.
Gerard once.
yeah.
Yep.
We were sitting
Okay.
on stage too at that performance. That was our first time seeing it, and
Mhm.
Gerard was on for Georg that night, actually.
Was on for
Um,
Gaylord.
yeah, it was great.
Nice.
And
Yeah.
then
How
yeah,
about those are the cheap seats, right? How much were those seats
dude, they
on
were like
Broadway?
30 bucks,
Yeah,
like
they
They were
were
like
30,
nothing.
30
30
But
bucks.
bucks.
they
Yeah,
were
it was
also like
amazing.
the first rush tickets to sell. So you had to get there
Yeah.
early. And if
Yeah,
you wanted like specific seats, you had to be like the first ones in line.
yeah, it was
Yeah,
Oh,
30
that was
bucks. It was
crazy.
about as much as the
30
ensemble
bucks.
got
That's
paid.
awesome.
it's
Yeah, it was like
wild.
$10 off Broadway and then
Yeah.
30 on Broadway. It's
You
crazy.
know
I
what
feel like
though?
now it'd be like
Broadway now,
400.
those seats would probably be like $50 to $60.
Oh,
They
Oh,
were
totally. Yeah.
more,
rush or
more.
Yeah.
more.
They
Yeah.
gotta be,
Like
right?
TDF tickets are so much more expensive now, and it just irks my soul. I can do an entire podcast of how like Broadway is overpriced.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
yet the
I mean,
actors make
nowadays
no
someone would
money.
get the cheap tickets and then just resell them for, you know.
I mean, but look at the wealth it's bringing to the artists. That's what we love to see.
Oh, yeah. It's been such a great
Brian and
form.
Gerard, do you want to talk more about that? No?
Hate it.
Okay, let's move on. So we struck up a
Um,
conversation.
yeah, we had a conversation, we met, and then I think we met a couple months later or something
Oh
because I
yeah, so
was
here's the story behind that. My old roommate and I were talking. We're like, yeah, remember those guys we met at the stage door and like we chatted about you. And I shit you not, like that night we were in Conway, which doesn't exist anymore. And Brandon is there with Doug. And we're like, oh my God, we were literally just talking about you.
hell yeah.
And then Brian's like, yeah, or Brandon, sorry, is I'm like, yeah, I'm thinking about colleges and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I'm thinking about going to Pace. And I are like, we go to Pace. And
And then I
so,
went to Pace.
and then you
The
went to Pace.
rest,
No,
And
and
then we
that's
rest
it.
is
saw
history.
Wicked. And then you were like a row behind me and you were just like awkward, like, oh, hey. And then cut to like 2 months later, we get cast in Dog Sees God together as brother and sister.
So
That's
it
right.
sounds like Brandon. It sounds like you were stalking Allison for
It
He,
years.
was.
he
No,
did.
it was hard
Sometimes it
too.
pays off.
Yeah.
Sometimes it pays off. Yeah, no, I had to track her movements for quite a bit. But
Yeah.
it's you went to Spring Awakening so many times during that period of time.
Probably.
No, so yeah, we wound up playing brother and sister in Dog Sees God. That was great.
Yeah.
Um,
Let's not
Great
forget
And I
show.
Aiton
played
was also
Van.
in it. He played
And
Yeah.
Van.
yeah, Aiton was in it too.
And
And
back when I
Dom
had dreadlocks.
and
I
Dom
only
Oh, I
got the part
remember
Maruka.
because I
well.
had dreadlocks.
I
Well,
remember well. And then
Yo,
then your girlfriend forced you to audition for a show she's
Brian.
directing the next semester.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
okay.
All right, what's
guys,
I'm
happening?
just
Gerard is losing
I'm
his
reacting
mind.
to finding out that Aiton used to have dreadlocks. Sorry.
Oh,
Oh,
you didn't
there's
know?
video
you have
evidence.
to see him. You
How
have
would
to
I
see him.
know?
Everyone
It's like
thought that
We've been
Aiton was a
friends for
huge
so
drug
long, Brian.
dealer.
Not that long, apparently.
I think the only like dreadlock photos I can think of you is like when we did Dog Sees God. So I can probably talk amongst yourself. We're just gonna talk and I'm gonna try
There's
and
a lot
find
on my
I
Facebook. We
mean,
don't have
I've
to
only met him
bring
within the
those.
year, so
Aiton, you've
that's
gone through some phases though. Like there was this period of time you kind of looked like that comedian Gallagher that smashes like watermelons because you had
that
this
was mostly
period.
because he went around smashing watermelons.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
that was the
That
problem.
would do it. That would do
Big
it.
issue.
No,
No,
this
that's because
was
I was
At the
doing
grocery
Love,
store.
Sex, and the IRS, and I had a mustache for that.
you
Yeah,
had a mustache and
and a
like a
giant fro.
like curly mullet. No, dude, it was like a
Nice.
curly mullet kind of thing.
Just smashing melons at the bodega.
That's right.
Okay.
Are you
Hey,
showing
babe,
them?
I'll be right back. I gotta go smash some melons.
Oh,
Oh,
There
Oh,
he is. Yo,
nice.
God.
Dude, that's
did
like
he
Chris
not look like a
Kirkpatrick
drug
over here.
dealer?
He looks like a drug dealer and addict at the same time.
And the funny thing is like I basically never smoked weed. Everybody would come up to me freshman year asking me to buy drugs, and I
Yeah.
just
And you're like, with these
and
locks, you know how
yeah,
expensive this shit is to maintain?
It's funny too because he didn't smoke drugs, but Aiton was the one that got me into smoking cigarettes. Something
Nice.
let's
he
not
tries
let's not
he
go into
tries
that
to
right now.
deny it.
Let's not-
I feel
I
like this
can't
is a
believe you
whole
just said
therapy
that.
session.
I can't believe you just said that.
It's one of the biggest sources of contention
Oh my
between Aiton
God.
and I. That
Yeah,
and whether it's acceptable to put mayonnaise
simply.
on a sandwich that goes in the air fryer. And I'm curious about that. Let's take a
Oh my
quick
God.
poll. Who thinks, okay, if you have a sandwich, right? And you want mayonnaise on the sandwich, but you want the
Hold on,
sandwich.
but like, would you consider
Okay.
like aioli like a type of mayo?
No, I'm talking just like straight mayo.
Okay, but like,
Okay.
what's the meat?
It doesn't matter. This
If
is
you're
pure,
eating it right
this is pure,
away,
this is
yes. But
purely
if you
about the
can't let it
mayo.
sit and then go have it again, you know what I mean?
Okay, but no, this is the
You
question.
can heat it.
Let me
That's
finish
fine.
the controversy, guys, because I had to make a whole
Okay.
post on Reddit about this because we got into a
Oh
big
my
fight.
God.
Had to is
I
an
had
interesting
I had to even
way to
talk
put
about
it,
this.
but
I'm not
yeah.
Listen,
sure.
guys, if you take a sandwich and you have mayo on it, okay, and you put it in an air fryer, and then you turn the air fryer on, you let it fry up for like 30 seconds, you take it out. Do you think that contaminates every sandwich that comes after that sandwich with the taste of mayo lingering in
No.
the air fryer? No,
No.
mayo doesn't linger in the air fryer. The
No,
taste of
it's
mayo.
not a linger. No, it's
Aiton
not a
and I had
lingering condiment.
Aiton and I had been working on Foxbrier Lane for like maybe like 16 hours straight at this point. And we were
So
at my
basically, he's
house.
eating mayo sandwiches in the air fryer.
Right.
It's
I was like,
literally
bro,
just like bread and mayo, and that's
right.
what you guys ate from the air
Now
fryer.
that
I,
I
No
would
I
have
meat,
just
an
said, why
issue
no
not
with,
put the
but
cheese,
mayo
no
on
nothing
afterwards?
inside.
Yeah.
that I would
Aiton,
have
no,
an issue.
Aiton, you
But
got
hold on,
mad
if you
because we
think
said it
about
was
it though, because
contaminated.
sometimes people use mayo instead of butter to
For
make
the
mac and
grilled
cheese.
cheese, yeah,
So you're
that
I
is
making
just
a
good.
hate the
Very
stovetop.
smell.
easy.
The smell of mayo, I really hate. So
I
I just felt like the whole air fryer was just smelled like mayo
What
afterwards.
does
I feel like
mayo smell like?
right. It's a phantom sensation. It's
I don't
not,
know. It
Mayo
just
doesn't smell like anything to me.
Maybe you're like hypersensitive to mayo, and that's why like you notice and no one else does.
Guys,
yeah,
I
well,
think
that's why I wear white shirts.
Okay, we got to get back to the show. So
yeah,
much like
no,
eating a
I was
mayo
gonna say I
sandwich,
think
our
we
show is
found
about
like a
grief.
nice little comic relief moment you can put in Foxbrier Lane.
about mayo
About
in the air
mayo.
There
fryer.
we
Actually,
go.
Exactly.
maybe
We
Like,
not
need
do you
that
this.
idea.
remember when
Yeah,
he
That,
put a mayonnaise sandwich in the air fryer
that could be a whole
and
song.
I
we
thought it
need that
smelled like
mayo 12
mayo
o'clock
and
number.
it did not?
No, I'm serious. Like Aiton and I had been working on this show for like 16 hours straight, like at my house on Foxbrier Lane, which is where I was living at the time, which is why the show's called Foxbrier Lane.
Oh, we'll get
You know
into
Um,
what I'm
it. Look,
yeah,
I have a whole thing of things we're going
okay.
to talk about.
Yeah, many of
We're
us
talking
have
about mayonnaise
ADHD.
right now,
Right?
okay?
A lot
Yeah.
of us have
We're trying to get
ADHD.
sponsors.
So right. I love Helen. I
Dukes,
love Dukes.
Hellman's.
Like I love them all.
Yeah.
I love the smell of mayo.
Allison, can you actually clip this moment so that we can get sponsored? And can you
Oh
like
my God.
collab request with them?
I don't know how to clip, but I'll definitely give it a shot.
All right, we got this.
Promising.
All right, enough about the mayo. Let's
Are
talk.
you
Let me
sure
talk
you don't
about
want to continue with mayonnaise?
You brought
Okay.
it up.
I'm good now. I'm good. I've said what I needed to say on national, podcast.
National
National
podcast.
Podcast Association.
National
Because
podcast.
my podcast travels that far to that way. People.
NPA.
Yes. So on YouTube with my 4 subscribers. So if you are listening, please subscribe to YouTube. Anyway, so Foxbrier Lane.
Is this live?
No.
I'm just kidding.
We're live right now. We're live in my studio apartment. We're live in like 2 people's bedrooms. I don't know where the fuck Brandon
That's guest
is.
bedroom.
I'm in my
excuse
bedroom.
me.
I'm in my
This is Gerard's when he comes
upstairs
over.
foyer.
It is
How
my
hot is
that
it in
my
there right
bed
now,
when I-
Brandon?
Dude, it's like 95 degrees up here. I'm so hot.
Oh, that's
I'm
it?
so
Have an
hot.
air conditioner behind you. Why is it not turned on?
Because it
There's
would
central
disrupt
AC.
the sound for the interview.
Yeah, this
There's
is called
central AC, but
sacrifice.
apparently it's 95
Yeah.
degrees in his room.
Oh, central
Allison,
AC is nice.
when the house doesn't have insulation in the attics, okay, you got to pay a lot of money to get that done. And it does, I'm a poor person. I write musicals, so I can't afford that. So I have this little fan, but it's not doing anything at all. So I'm just sweating profusely. Anyway,
The whole room smells like mayo.
it's terrible in here. Awful.
No, is it organic mayo? Do you make your own? Okay, let's move on. So Foxbrier
Dude.
Lane. So
Yeah.
Brandon, this was originally supposed to be a screenplay called The Guinness Book of World Records. And
That's
so
correct.
what kind of inspired you to want to write this story?
Well, I didn't want to write it, but my brother died. So
What a segue, bro.
Yeah.
no, look, my brother
Well,
was
no,
such a fan
but
of
you
dark humor,
originally
so
were doing it as a screenplay before he passed, correct?
yeah, correct. Yes, you're
So
very
I'm
correct.
trying to
So
before, we talk about this, we want to give some background to how it became what it is now.
yes,
See where I'm going with this?
I do.
Yes, okay.
It's hard for me to follow. I'm very hot. But I'm hallucinating at the moment. But no, so I did start writing
Just
this
put
as
the fan right in front of you while you're talking.
I know.
So it can
right?
also have that like Billie Eilish
That
bad
tinny
guy
sound.
sound.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the show started as a screenplay because I was living in Los Angeles at the time, and I had gotten a call from my mom, and she told me that one day in Baltimore City, my brother was set on fire when he was sleeping on a park bench because he was homeless. And that moment is actually in the show as well. And at that point, we found out later that it was like a random group of like kids that did it. Actually, they were like teenagers that were just like screwing around. So they lit a homeless guy on fire. But that's Baltimore. No, they never found him, So like, luckily my brother, he was like burning. And this like passerby came and like, there was a lot of snow outside. So we like pushed him in the snow and kind of like, put him out. But he went to the hospital. We spent that Christmas in the hospital. And my father was a Guinness Book of World Records sit-up holder. And so it just got me thinking. I was
What?
like, yeah, he's a Guinness Book of World Records sit-up holder. He did like 64,000 sit-ups or something. Like,
Oh my God.
but that's the only thing he ever accomplished in his life. That's why right. That's why it was called the Guinness Book of World Records, like when I first wrote the screenplay. And so yeah, like, but that was kind of the only thing he did. You know what I mean? After that, he kind of
That's a cool name because of that backstory. That's a cool name.
Right. And so that's why in the show, Norman is he's talking about his Guinness Book of World Records and stuff, because it used to be kind of a bigger thing, and it kind of like the screenplay started with like a flashback to like there was a moment when I was a kid and we I was getting like baptized, and at the baptism or whatever, it was I can't really remember it. I was like 1 year old, but at this point, like the dad was like, or the priest was like, I exorcise the demons from your children or whatever it is, something about
That's what
demons,
they say in
right?
church.
Yeah, I'm sure it's exactly that, right? I have no idea, but
Did you say like Jim Carrey?
no, I will not.
I
No.
exercise the demon.
Hey, Gerard. I would have
Welcome.
done it, but I'm not going to.
But so like, he like freaked out and like punched the priest and he had to be escorted out. So my dad was kind of like a rough figure. So I just thought about like this story of like,
By the way, on
obviously
a
like
total side note, because I spoke to Aiton about this at the bar afterwards, and I said, "Who's directing this?" And apparently, I'm on the list of people to direct. So when I direct the
are
show,
you?
Oh,
This is news to
oh
me, Aiton.
shit. That's
So,
yeah,
awesome.
all
don't
right.
listen, Aiton and I can have our own conversations.
By the
Apparently
way,
I
it's
just
the impression would be he has exercised the demon.
Oh, that's good. That's
Thank
good.
you.
Thanks, Brad.
I was in the other room. I had to give Duke more water, my dog. So
It's
Well,
all
then
good.
we'll
I
see in the
missed the timing, but I had to bring it back.
It's all good.
we'll
I
see
know.
in
I
the rehearsal
appreciate
room.
it.
Yeah.
So
Um,
anyway, you were saying,
yeah, yeah. So I decided to kind of write this screenplay about these two brothers that were kind of like living in the shadow of their Guinness Book of World Records father, who had done kind of nothing in his life since that point and became an alcoholic. So one of the brothers being an alcoholic, one being kind of like a struggling artist that deals with mental illness. So it started off as that screenplay, and we did a reading of it in Los Angeles. But I put it away for like a long time. The show actually kind of like ended where the brother Jack gets burned. But somebody told me after it, they were like, I feel like there's a lot more story to tell there. So you might want to hold off for a while. And actually, funny enough, the reason why I wrote it was because I was at a party at Burt V. Royal's house.
"Oh, interesting."
And this guy, Mark Andreyko, who is like a DC Comics writer, was talking to me, and he was like, we just got to talking about our lives and stuff, and I was telling him about like my dad and about my brother and stuff, and he was like, if you don't write that into a story, I'm going to. So I was like, well, I'm gonna go do it then.
Threatened you.
So yeah, so I did it. So here we
He's
are.
gonna steal it from you. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
that's
So Aiton,
All
how
my
did
life.
good.
so
What a good
Aiton,
friend.
how did? Sorry, you guys keep going. I'm gonna wait.
No, no, no.
We're good. We're
Listen,
ready. Okay.
listen up, listen up.
We're just riffing.
No, it's
Right.
okay. Brandon's like, "Oh, just wait." I was like, "It's nothing I cannot handle."
Yeah, no, we
It's
just
like
talk over
preparation
each
for
other and
tonight.
say dumb shit. Don't worry about us. Keep
Yeah,
us.
we go off on tangents, and so you just got to reel us in.
No, I
Yeah.
literally said to Brandon, that is what the podcast is because we go
Oh,
off
Right.
good.
so
Right.
much. I mean, we just had what, a 10-minute conversation about mayo in the air
Yeah,
fryer.
and we might
We
loop back
did.
to it
We
if
did.
you want
We
to.
might,
I'm
we
Oh
happy to
might,
talk
God.
about mayo as much as y'all want.
we might bring it back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
I
the
think like
smell.
I think that next time we all get together, we should all just wear white and blue jeans.
Okay.
And then we should just all gift Aiton different brands of mayonnaise.
Yeah.
Or mayo
The funny
scented
thing is I
candles.
love
Yeah.
Chipotle mayo.
Well, even if you
Mayo
smell
scented
mayo
candle.
on you, you won't see it with your white shirt.
It's true.
Do you love Chipotle mayo?
Dude, I love it.
Are you serious, dude? I feel
Yeah,
so
man.
betrayed. You said you hated mayo in
He's
general.
I
drinking
hate
it out of
mayo.
his water bottle right now. It's only Chipotle mayo, bro.
And
I
I
also
also
hate
just like,
tomatoes, but I love ketchup.
yeah, me
That's weird.
too. And I
Wow.
like tomato sauce, but I don't like the chunks of tomato. I
Yeah.
don't eat that. But I will also say I've seen almost everything with this podcast, and Brandon walking around kind of giving us a semi-tour of his apartment is because I have had
Yeah,
people
it's
It's
nice.
walk and show me things in their cabinets. I had somebody like bring wine with them.
Allison,
it's
we're
been
doing
20
it.
minutes, so
It's an
Brandon needs to smoke.
IPA.
Yeah.
We're keeping it.
It's
We're just
oh, I'll
keeping it
say
real,
though, this is
real.
the first time somebody's actually going to be smoking a cigarette on the podcast.
Is that okay?
I don't
Well,
care.
I got him
All
addicted,
right.
so he has
You
to.
did. And it's too
You can
late
do
anyway. I'm
whatever,
already out
dude.
here.
You can
I'm
do
gonna
whatever
go
you
grab
want.
a
You're
Is
beer.
that
grown up.
is that
Okay.
your love song? Is that going to be your wedding song, Toxic? I'm addicted to you. Don't you know that you're toxic?
About cigarettes?
Or just like you and Aiton together, and he'll just like
Our
dress
wedding song when we get married.
I mean,
When they try to
maybe.
deport me.
What do you mean
oh
when?
no.
Right. Oh,
Exactly. I
Aiton, you're
could be
not
your
getting
officiant.
deported.
It's fine.
I
I'll be
hope.
like, I remember when we did the show in college.
Now here we are
Memory.
doing a second show.
I know. Well, okay, so Aiton, how did you get involved and when did that happen?
Yeah, so like Brandon was talking about, he had written this screenplay, and I think what was it, maybe f about 5 years ago at this point, um, Brandon's brother Aaron passed away. He died of an overdose. And Brandon was living out in LA, and then I think Brandon, you could probably transition to talking about this, but Brandon was living out in LA, and he got a call from his mom, saying that his brother was gone, and so he moved back to Maryland to be with his family.
Yeah.
And at the time, Brandon was um, the whole family was grieving, and there was um, a lot of emotions. And Brandon, I think at that point, he sent me the screenplay, and he said, "Hey, can you read this? I think I maybe want to turn this into a musical, and maybe, the second part of this movie can be, you know, dealing with the grief of losing my brother." So yeah, we sort of got together. I mean, Brandon, I know you're smoking over there, but I feel like you can talk a
Yeah.
little bit more about.
Well, I think that,
Also, just like
like,
total side note, I love Gerard's reactions to like everything that's happening.
So good. I mean, these guys are great. It's like it's
Yeah.
I don't know. We have
we're
fun
like,
when we work together, that's for sure.
yeah, old
Yeah.
vaudeville duo act.
But I've also known Brandon since he went to Pace as well, because spoiler alert, we dated the same girl
Oh
at
God.
the time, and it was an interesting time.
You didn't date her
It,
at the
it
same
was not at
time,
the
did
same
you?
time.
Okay.
Not
It was
at the
not.
Because
same
that would
time.
have been
It wasn't an
wild.
Aida type of situation.
Brandon and I are basically brothers too, Eskimo style.
Oh my God.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, yeah, we won't reveal the name.
Yeah,
But
we won't
And I
say
just
her
met
name.
Brandon in January, so
yeah,
it
yeah,
basically could be anybody
Her
at
name
this
was
point.
Aiton,
we could, right?
and she's
Um,
trying to act like it didn't happen.
Nadia.
That's right.
Oh, is that what you go by when you're
That's her
dating?
working name. Yeah,
Yeah.
when she
Um,
worked.
when she worked.
but yeah, so Brandon reached out to me, and he said basically
Yeah.
like, I would love to turn this into a musical. Brandon, he is an incredible lyricist and musician. He had written a bunch of songs about grief and about, his brother already. And so I think we kind of just decided we'd give it a shot. We'd go in and um, try to mold it into like a dramatized version of reality. So the whole show is based on a true story.
Yeah, but it's I think that we've gotten to the point where it's like it's weird, right? It's weird to fictionalize a deeply traumatic event in your life because, in a way it kind of removes you from the situation, but in order to write it, you kind of have to keep reopening the wound. You know what I mean? You have to keep like ripping that thing open after it scars over. And then you get to a point which is like the point that we're at now where like, it's weird. It's just weird how like, the fiction muddies with the reality of things. Because when I wrote these songs for this show, um, like they just, it was written from like a very like visceral reaction, right? So it's like I flew home from LA back to my house with my family at this place called Foxbrier Lane. And it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I went down into the basement and I just listened to like the final voice message that my brother had sent me because I had it saved on my phone, and it was from a few days prior. And he was like, "Oh, it's Aaron, just giving you a call. We haven't really talked in a while. Hoping you call me back. All right, bye." And I never called him back, So that was for me like I just was thinking about that a lot. So I sat down and I wrote a song about just kind of how I felt when I first got that call, like from my mom saying like, "Hey, your brother's gone." And for me, that's a moment that I like dreamed about a lot because like when you have somebody that's in your family or like, even a friend, somebody that that struggles with addiction, those are moments that you fantasize in your head, especially when you have like obsessive thought disorder. You kind of replay those things in your head over and over again. So like, I would dream about it. I would have very real dreams about like getting that phone call. And then like one day that phone call finally happened. And so it was a very weird experience. So I wrote a song about that and I sent it to Aiton. And I was like, hey man, like, what do you think about this? And he was like, I love it. And I showed it to my partner, Caitlin, and she was like, you should call it Foxbrier Lane because that's where you are right now when you're writing this. And so I did. Um, and then that became the act two opener of the show. So, it's a weird thing, but yeah, brought Aiton on board because like we had previously worked together on a screenplay for a musical about it was like a coming of age story that was a jukebox musical set to the music of this guy named Mick Christopher, who was one of Glenn Hansard's best friends, who passed away before his album was released. It was released and then went on to win a Meteor Award. But we wrote a movie musical based on that. And then, I just said to Aiton, like, hey, I really want to make this thing, but like, I just don't know that I can really do it on my own because I've never really like, I've written musicals in the past, but I've had partners when I've written those musicals when it comes to like writing the music and lyrics. So this was, I wanted to write something on my own, like in terms of music and lyrics. And I wanted to bring in somebody for the book too, because like I've written plays on my own, but I've never worked on a book with like another like straight up co-writer. So yeah, brought Aiton on board. We've known each other for a very long time. We started doing readings like via Zoom. When we were writing the show, I think, we thought to ourselves like, man, like, who would be really good to play this role of Jack is Gerard. And so, when we were writing the role, we wrote it for him. We kind of shaped it around, like, how do we think, vocal range, like what would he be like, and Gerard was just kind of like the perfect fit for that character. Like when we, he was gracious enough to join us for like a first reading on Zoom.
And it was just Act One, I think,
Yeah,
when we
just
when
act
we did
one.
that
Yeah.
reading.
And I think Gerard, you even came and like played at like a tribute concert on Zoom during the pandemic for my brother. And all the songs were written with a guitar that like, previously like 2 weeks before my brother passed, I put my foot through my guitar and smashed it. And so I put out like a GoFundMe and Gerard donated and I got this guitar that I wound up writing all the songs from the show on. So it was just kind of like this perfect fit. So yeah, we asked Gerard to come do it, and that's kind of how things started taking shape from the beginning.
Yeah. So, Aitan, I'm curious for you, coming on board, being a co-writer of the show, and having one of your very good friends that you've known for like over 15 years at this point, and probably was like anywhere from 10 to 15 years when you guys started working on it. How is it for you coming in, working on your friend's story and elevating it?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I think, Brandon and I had been, I mean, I guess I would say longtime collaborators at that point. We had worked on another movie, as Brandon mentioned, but I think we had been friends for so long that we were bouncing ideas off each other for years and years and always sort of like in a kind of a collaborative mindset. I think we had just enjoyed our time together working on that other movie called Skylarkin. Um, and I think, when he came to me about Foxbrier Lane, well, first of all, I thought that it was such a touching, like sad story to tell. And I think for Brandon, so raw and real. And I think a lot of it was definitely almost like a therapeutic healing process, just writing the story. And for me, I just wanted to be able to be there as not just a soundboard, helping to shape the story, but as um, kind of someone who could be there to reassure him, like this story can be a universal tale. It can be something that other people can relate to. There are so many people who struggle with addiction. There are so many people who have lost someone to addiction. And I think that, it is such a specific story, but our hope was that it would be able to kind of translate to a greater audience and people would be able to, you know, get some sort of catharsis from it. But yeah, it's definitely a tough thing to write because uh, it's a bit of a it's a bit of a depressing story, and I think one of the big things that we get is like people always tell us to put more levity in there, make some of the songs funnier, and that's something that we've sort of struggled with is like how do we turn this sad story into something that people are going to actually not walk away after the first act.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny because, Aiton and I, like, we work very well. Like, Aiton is one of those people where no matter what time of day it is, you can call him and he answers. No matter what time of day it is, you can
Stop
send him
calling me at 4 in the morning, dude. I've been
I know,
telling you.
sorry,
That's
sorry.
just crazy,
But
bro.
At 4 in
he'll
the
s-
morning, are you still in those headsets though?
Yeah,
yeah,
of course.
he's still
Okay.
wearing them.
It's
He
always
wears them
landing
all
the
day.
plane.
Never
Yeah.
not in the
No,
headset.
it's landing the plane.
One
Are
day
you
he'll
going to
get
answer
there.
the door next time Gerard comes over? White t-shirt, shorts, denim pants,
I'm
headset.
gonna get you all wearing this shirt, okay?
Yeah.
We should have
That's
done
gonna
it
be
for
my
this.
costume once we hit the stage. It's just gonna be white t-shirt, blue jeans.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so so then we kind of just started developing this more and more, and time went on, and we started doing this show at 54 Below, and we were looking desperately for somebody to come in and play this role of Noah, which is kind of like a fictionalized version of me, but not quite, but it is, in veiled ways, and so we were kind of at our wits' end, like trying to find somebody to play this, because we just like we didn't have the contacts really like ourselves to be able to like reach out to people, so we asked Gerard. We're like, hey, can you recommend somebody? And immediately Gerard was like, Brian Charles Johnson. Yeah, you got to talk to him, you got to get him. And so we had a first Zoom call with Brian, and Brian and I were dressed almost identically.
We're
We,
identical. Yeah,
we knew
almost.
it.
Yeah.
We knew at that
Different
moment.
color concept, I think, but
Right, right.
same idea. Yeah.
Close enough.
Kind
Yeah.
of like right now.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
same.
true.
Yeah, exactly.
Just fictionalized enough.
We got our
Yeah,
own
like
styles and
whatever.
Right.
microphones and shit.
Yeah, so then we brought Brian on board, and it's just been amazing to have both of these guys. I mean, their chemistry together is just absolutely nuts. It's
Yeah.
insane. I
Yeah.
mean, I
And
guess you have that when you've been friends for, however
I
many
mean, this dude is
decades.
definitely the closest
Yeah.
I have to a brother, and I mean, he has a real brother. I have a half brother, but I don't really know him. So it's like
That's it.
Brian is literally the person that I would consider my brother in my life.
Right.
So being able to play an actual brother with a way more toxic relationship, might I add, on stage than we do but I think that's helpful. I told Brandon and Aiton both this. It's like nice when you get to do stuff that's like intense scene work with somebody that you really trust,
yeah.
because
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
like I'm not asking for permission. Like, if I'm coming at you aggressively because of my character, that I'm going to be in control. I'm
Mhm.
going to definitely maybe do it. Like, I don't have to ask permission to like grab Brian
Yeah.
and get
Right.
right.
Although, like, I've been meaning to ask, could you please
Yeah, I mean,
ask for permission
I
next
can
time?
if you want me to, but you know what I mean? Like, it's
No.
the comfortability you have, the trust you have with the other person, that they're going to meet you where you're at on stage. And like, we only did a little snippet of the show at 54
Yeah.
Below.
Yeah.
The people who might be listening to this, who might have seen that, like that, there's so much more show, and there's so much
Yeah.
more scene work.
When
And
we were like learning, I mean, you had a little bit of
yeah,
knowledge of stuff
But
beforehand, but
hardly.
like we were learning all the material for that like week of
yeah,
rehearsals. There's just a lot of stuff, and it was great. I mean, like, but it's
yeah. And
only
It's
it's
a
gonna get
fun to
better.
whirlwind.
dive in with those kinds
Yeah.
of like, with that kind of foundation of trust with the
Right.
people
Yeah.
these scenes
And
with.
you guys
Yeah.
smashed it. I mean,
They're
Yeah.
really
it's
scenes.
having you guys play brothers is amazing because you basically are brothers. So
I
Right.
mean, that
It's
that
nice.
that was like the
Fun.
magic. That was the magic element though that I think like was missing from the show. Like, we've done the show before. I mean, we've had two concerts in Havre de Grace, Maryland that we did via artist grants there.
Mhm.
So, and
Right.
completely different cast, amazing cast. Fantastic cast. Unfortunately, like the second set of performances, I wound up having to play Jack myself, which was a really weird experience
Oh,
because
sure.
I was
Yeah.
like,
Was
I'm
it
you were
playing.
cathartic
great.
in any way though?
Wild.
In a, may, yeah, yes, I think.
I
I
said
don't
in a
know.
way, so maybe like
Yeah,
not
yeah. I
Like
100%.
guess
playing your idea of your brother.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
weird. It was cathartic, but it was weird. Like,
Yeah.
but I did wear like, the hat in the show that he wore when he, had died. So it was just like it was a nice tribute. It like the concerts happened on like the anniversary of his death. So it was a nice tribute. Like it was a nice way to pay our respects to him, but it was weird to play it, to be honest with you.
Mhm.
Like I
Yeah.
never want to do that again. And I only had to do it out of necessity because like the guy that was supposed to play it was like, oh, I can't do it now. And so I was like, fuck. Like we're like a week out. Like there's nobody else.
Yes.
And like that cast, but they were great. Like they were so great. They were wonderful because like they're the first time that I heard the show like fully brought to life in a way. And I have respect for every single one of them. Like, they're not just like, you think of like, oh, we're doing this at like Havre de Grace, Maryland. They're not Havre de Grace, Maryland actors. You know what I mean? They're actors. Like they're great people, great talents. And so like to have them be a part of it and to bring it to life for the first time, like I know for Aiton and I was like extremely moving to be able to like see that come to life. But there were just things that like nagged me about that concert because like it was due to my own limitations, really. Like I can only do so much like when it comes to like writing, right? Because like I'm not an orchestrator and like, I don't have like the musical ability in terms of musicianship that I think a lot of maybe other composers do have. I think that what I have is the ability to kind of like write a meaningful song. Write a meaningful full song in some way, and then I have the ability to give it over to somebody else who can make it better, you know? And so like, the band that we've assembled for this, I mean, Gerard plays like 10 instruments on the EP. Mike Rosengarten, Rachel Sandler, like our band is fantastic. And the show in Havre de Grace was fantastic as well. Like I'm very thankful that that happened. And again, I just can't express how grateful I am to those people for making it happen. But then like once we got Brian and Gerard together and like we actually like saw this chemistry that has been built up just between them by being friends. And like, for me it was just really cathartic because like again, like Allison, we met seeing Spring Awakening. I love Spring Awakening. Like it's a phenomenal musical. you know so like to have these two in the show who were in that show now are in my show is crazy. And like to have like Freddie Walker Brown like in our 54 Below concert who was in Rent like is crazy. And to
It's
have
crazy. It is crazy.
it's crazy, right? Isn't it
So many
nuts?
levels.
And Ken Jennings, like, yes, man.
Yes,
What?
man.
Just like to have all these people though was just extremely gratifying. But like these two just have such a spark and such a connection that just it's thrilling to watch and it's thrilling to listen to. So, you know.
I was actually there at the 54 Below concert, and that was a very interesting day because I actually got let go from my job that day. And
I
then
Oh,
I
wow.
remember
had to
you were
go see
telling me that. I can't believe you came to the show
Yeah,
while like at
I'm
the same
shocked.
Told
time
me,
like
yeah.
dealing with all of that.
Hey.
Thank you for being there. That's, I
Yeah.
mean, that
Well, I
Yeah,
also
is
live
thank you.
around the
Our
commitment.
show
corner
was
from
super
54
uplifting
Below,
and
which is
Yeah,
Yeah.
very
so
nice.
happy.
Yeah. Well, no, I will say at one point I'm like, I just really need to go to the bathroom. And so I went to the bathroom in the middle of the show, and there was a girl in the next stall, not in a great
Crying.
place.
Oh,
She was on the phone, pretty much talking about how the show is affecting her because of
Oh,
what the subject matter of the show was.
whoa.
Yeah. So just so you guys
like
know,
in a bad way? Like, did we
no,
upset
just
her?
like,
Oh, wow.
she probably had her own struggles with
Yeah.
addiction. And so seeing something like that on stage was getting to her. So she was on the phone with somebody, kind of just like talking it through.
Oh my God.
I do wonder. There's somebody that I'm not going to say who, but there's somebody in our cast, who told us that a friend came,
Hmm.
who was part of like an AA program,
Hmm.
and that she had like a really hard time with the
Yeah.
show, like because of how real it felt to her. So I do wonder if it was that person, maybe.
I have no idea. But I mean,
Right, you wouldn't, but
yeah, but that is kind of one of the great things about theater is that, it shines a light on the truth and people's reactions to it. I mean, I know
yeah.
I've seen shows where I've been affected, and I'm sure you guys have all experienced that as well, or have been in shows where something like that has happened. So, Gerard, let's
hmm
chat with you because you were involved, as you said, you got involved during the pandemic. So, how did that come about?
Um, I mean, pretty casually, I think, between Brandon and I, if my memory serves me correct, because we lost a lot of years during the pandemic. But
Yep.
It's so
yeah,
weird that
yeah,
it also was like 5 years ago. That's why I
yeah. But
say
it
time
feels
is
like
an illusion.
it's insane actually to think about. But yeah, it was kind of just one of these like cold, almost a cold call, like to see if I was interested in doing this. And I think Brandon, correct me if I'm wrong, you had a demo of Burnin' or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, I think,
You
and
sent
it,
me.
you know, it was yes, very, very shitty demos of me performing a lot of these songs. Is like I had just written them, and I was like, let me screech into my microphone while my
Yeah,
family's not home.
no, but it was great. Like it gives you the sense of what the show was, right? So he basically offered up this idea to do this Zoom reading. It was one act of the play, and he had me in mind for this character, and he dove into the story and like the behind the story. And I was immediately touched by the notion that I would be the one that he thought of to do the part. And also like let's be real, any chance that I could to like create something original that has meaning, especially during the pandemic when like things are not really happening. Like this seems like diamond in the rough kind of thing. Like let's fucking go.
Mhm.
And I remember it being really effective, and I remember having some really great chats with both Aiton and Brandon about it, and how enthusiastic I was about the piece. And I, as an actor, having someone tell you like, look, we had you in mind for this role when we were writing it,
Mhm.
it's hard to not be flattered by that and then like see where that can go. So I
Yeah.
was very curious to see, what it's going to feel like when we did it. And even on Zoom, it was like so effective, I thought. And
Man, it was amazing that night too. I remember that first read, and like Aiton and I just walked away and we're like, damn, Gerard was so good.
oh, I don't know, there was something fun about doing Zoom acting. Like I'm sure Brian can attest to this too. It's like I don't know, you're forced to do more film acting. Like you were doing theatrical pieces, but if you tried to do theater acting, it was like so stupid looking. So you were just
Mhm.
forced to drop into realism. Like everything had
Yeah.
to feel very real in order for it to play.
I will say with the Zoom acting, because I directed a bunch of different virtual play readings during the pandemic, it probably feels weird for the actors doing that, but for someone who's like watching and like you have an audience watching or you have someone like me directing it, it didn't look weird. So it
No,
must
I mean,
have felt weird to
it
you guys.
there was like a style. Like you had to kind of learn it. It was not something. It was somewhere between film acting and theater acting. It was some
Hmm.
beautiful marriage of the two. Like I did so many musicals over the pandemic, but not many of them really affected me in the way that Foxbrier did. And I feel like it was one of those casts too at that point that it was like once everybody realized we were like dropped in like into yes, we're all sitting at our desks in our room, like in our rooms, and like maybe our spouses are in the other room or something or whatever, or dogs are running around, but everybody got the memo, like everybody really dropped in and tried to like honor the story. And
Yeah, and they
it was
did.
exciting. It was an exciting feeling.
Yeah. So
Sorry, but
because Gerard, you brought in Brian. So were you always just like Brian in the back of your mind, and were you just like waiting for that moment to happen?
to be honest with you, I got the phone call about this later. Like, we did this Zoom thing,
Hmm.
and years went by.
Hmm.
So I was on
Yep.
tour with this Avatar, The Last Airbender orchestra thing. So I'm in some other state thinking about that and like thinking about, oh God, what's next after this tour's done? And I get a phone call from Brandon and Aiton being like, we can't find anybody for this character. It's to play, the Brandon role. And, do you have anybody in mind? Now, Brian is like my ride or die best friend in the whole entire world. So, like, anytime anyone is asking for an actor, a male actor, I think, is Brian right for this? So that checks that box off. And like B, I also know that Brian's like aching to fucking work like we all are. And so like why not throw his name even if he hated the thing? Like I have no idea if he's going to like it or if he's going to vibe with the piece, what it is. I'm just going to throw his name in there, and yes, I'm going to
Yeah.
send you his phone number. You know what I mean? Like I just want to give my guy a shot. And I feel like that's kind of the way it's been as of late for actors and for creatives. Like you kind of have to look out for each other, and you have to, word of mouth each other a lot. And
Yep.
the industry is sort of thankless in this, like they're in this like little bubble. And like Brian and I are of a certain age, and so we have done the young thing, and now we're in this weird middle age thing where it's like we look
Yeah, like people still think you're that young thing, but you've aged every year
you've
since that
aged.
young thing happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll like when I'm like 50 something, I'm gonna grow into who I'm gonna play for the rest of my life. But for right now, finding roles like really like meaty subject matter for people like us is hard to come by. So like this show in so many
Let
ways.
alone leading roles, you know.
Correct. Yeah, yeah. And like and now it's like, oh yeah, Brian would actually kill this. He's like so similar to you. And they're like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll call him. Like, yeah, obviously Brandon knew who Brian was, and Brandon was playing it super fucking cool on the phone. I gotta say,
Nice, good.
you were playing it. Yeah, oh yeah, no, that's a pretty good idea. Like, you were being really,
And then he gets off the phone and just like screams like a girl and like
right,
runs
Yeah.
off the wall.
exactly.
Yep.
Oh
No, I
man.
do remember
And it
you
was
in like Brian's voice, man. Oh God, his voice is so unique. It's so oh God. I was like, yeah, imagine it on your songs.
it was
I
Yeah.
just
yeah,
like
and
to
it was
say that's a
immediate
really good Brandon impression,
Yeah,
by the way.
Yeah, let's
And then
really
Brian is doing a really good impression of Aiton just sitting there not saying anything.
wow, I just don't have the
I
boy
got
band
the
mic.
I got the call like about Brian, like actually the text. Aiton was like, "Oh, I think because I can't remember what happened, but like, or maybe we texted you or something, Brian. But I was actually at Disney World when that happened, and I was walking around
Oh wow.
Epcot, so I was already having a great time, and I was like, "Oh hell yeah, like, he's gonna do it."
Yeah.
So
I
it
think it
was
was
Yeah. Well, I mean,
serendipitous in a way.
once I started like listening and learning, it was just it's so uniquely perfect in my like right in my sweet spot.
yeah, your
And
voice is nuts on it.
like there's not that's also another thing with Broadway music these days. It's like there's nothing but tenors if you're a male basically, or like if you're really famous you
not
can be
even
a bass.
tenors. It's like fucking super
Yeah, it's
tenors.
like yeah, I know, it's like
Yeah.
altos, like
Well, it's also like even parts that are
the
supposed to be
notes
for
that you
baritones
have
go
to
to
hit in like
tenors.
even the ensemble is like a baritone is still an A or B flat, like
Yeah, the last few shows
crazy.
I've done that the baritone book, I've looked at it and it's been like a tenor two book. It's not a baritone book at all. There's no
Yeah,
like, true baritones in a lot of new musical theater.
yeah,
So this show, it sits in this nice pocket. Also, like,
yep.
let's be real. If we started singing a song in rehearsal with Brandon and it sounds whack, then we'd be like, hey, let's change the key. And just like
Yeah,
that, we would,
Yeah.
because it should not
right.
be a problem. There's
But
so
I
many.
mean, Brandon's
Yeah.
natural singing key, it just happens to fit in both of our
Correct. Yeah.
like right in our pockets. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you guys sound so good on the songs too. I mean, just like
And
hearing
then
you
singing
talk to
together
life.
because we've done that for so long. So
It
That
it's
was
sounds so
uncanny
good.
to me.
effortless.
Actually.
Yeah.
It's crazy to hear our voices together because like they do blend
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
crazily.
I
Like
know.
I
I
didn't
think people
realize
have
how
a
well they would.
misconception about my voice because I am like loud and proud, but like you can mix with anybody, you just
Yeah.
gotta listen.
No, but like I don't know, the timbre fit.
Yeah.
I was like,
Well, I
whoa.
just know how you sing and you know how I sing. So it's like
Well, you guys did
easy
Spring
to
Awakening, but
meet
you
each
also
other in
did
the middle.
American Idiot together, right?
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's true. Yeah.
What is that?
And
What is
then
that?
just remain friends
Really, Brandon?
along the way.
Really?
Not really.
Really?
Just kidding. Just kidding.
Talking about American Idiot so much recently, I feel like
You know,
like
I
It's
feel
the
like I was
15
talking to
year.
somebody about it too, and I was like, I wonder if it's time. Literally, I said this to my friend in DC, and I was like, I wonder if it's time for a revival of American Idiot.
it might be. It might be. I'm
Yeah.
not. You won't see my knees doing that shit anymore.
No, you could just be in the background doing the drums like you did on Broadway.
There you go. That's it.
Hmm.
No, I'll play. I'll play Tunny, but only after he is in the.
Yeah.
Well, who's the one who just
Dude,
sits on the
Will's
couch the
got
whole
it pretty
time?
easy.
That's true. I can do the Will
Just sits
track.
on a couch. You could be Will now. Yeah.
Yeah, Will
Yeah.
chills on the
Brian,
couch.
who would
Yeah,
you
no,
be in the
that's a
revival?
I just do my damn track. I do me.
Yeah.
Let nobody do
I
me.
do me.
I thought you were about to say,
Yeah.
like, I'll
I
just
still
play
got it. I
audience
still got it.
member.
Play sports and I stay in shape. I could still climb a ladder.
Right, so, Brian, let's talk a little bit more about your involvement with the show. What got you? I mean, can you elaborate a little bit more about why you were so excited about this particular part?
Yeah, I mean, initially it definitely was, wow, Gerard's doing it too. That's amazing. I don't get to work with him very often, on shows. So that was just an immediate jump on board. And then as I was looking through the material, I've shared this with the guys before, but like, you really, even though it's a very specific story that is based on Brandon's life. There's a lot that I think anyone can take from the 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 themes of the piece, where it's everyone has experienced grief in their life in some way, shape, or form. And whether it is through these specific stories of addiction, I think just that overlying theme of grief is a very powerful thing that like I myself have been um, dealing with in the past couple years in a very deep way, and like I think it just allowed me to kind of get some of that off of my chest through this beautiful music that just happens to like I feel like when I've learned all the music, apart from some of the tricky ones, they've come very naturally. They just feel right, right from the get go, and they just feel special, like coming out. And we're recording some of the music, and yeah, I mean, hearing it all over again, it's like I think it's something special. I really do. Like
Yeah.
it's
Okay. I'd also just like,
yeah.
sorry, I was say talking over people.
No, that's fine. I needed an outlet there.
Oh, it's for me to talk over you. Thank you.
Yeah, I was ready for it. I was like, I was running out of steam.
Like Allison hasn't talked over anybody in
He
quite
was
a
like,
bit,
I
and
can't think of
Aiton's
anything
not
else
even
nice to say. I'm
talking.
done.
I was like, that's where
Please
the cue cards ended,
cut me
Brandon.
off.
I had to go off the cuff.
Yeah. But I just want to put out there too, Foxbrier Lane, I mean, yes, it deals with addiction and loss and all that, but it also shows family dynamics. It's about
Yeah.
forgiveness,
Yes.
the people in your life, and allowing yourself to forgive yourself as well.
Right. I think yeah, that's where I trailed up. I was the beauty of
Yeah.
what comes through the hard times,
Yeah.
is something that I think is yeah, that's worth exploring through this show, which is
Hmm.
I mean,
it's just very
amazing to see the
touching.
50
Yeah.
low response.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like you never really get like I mean, sure you get audience response and stuff, but it just felt like from the get go, the audience just like inched up a few inches on their chairs, and like never left it
Yeah.
um, for
And last song,
the night, and you could just feel the
Mm.
yeah,
that last song you do,
yeah,
I'm not in. And so I was sitting off to
hmm
the side watching, and dude, it was like everybody in that, it's like Brian singing the eulogy essentially. And
yeah,
then like the entire chorus is around him singing, and it's beautiful. And the whole place was crying. Like that
yeah,
front row was like waterworks into their food. Like
yeah,
it was insane because,
yeah,
when you work on something, you get so like into it that sometimes you get desensitized. And it's nice to see that reaction after being like, God, we rehearsed this moment a million times. Like, hopefully we nailed it.
yeah,
And it's like that final moment. I remember it was like we had the candles and shit, and it was like this whole idea. It was
yeah,
like there was a whole
yeah.
thing, and people were, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it does not matter because you sold it. And it was like so beautiful.
Yeah, you could just feel that people were really into it. So, I mean, I think from that moment, I definitely really realized that, like, yeah, there is something
Yeah.
special here.
So I'm going to
I
mention sorry, somebody was about to say something.
No, I was just gonna say, like, on that note, when we did the show in Havre de Grace, I I've written a lot of plays, and I've put up a lot of plays before, but like, and only one other musical before this of my own. But the response for all those were great, right? They were great. But like
We had
this,
no idea if it was going to work. Like that was the first
no,
time we put it up.
this
We were really concerned it was just not going to work.
I was terrified. I told Aiton, I was like, I'm not watching it. I'm not gonna
Brandon
watch it.
was basically dry heaving in the back of the theater the entire first
Oh
show,
my
like literally like
I
throwing
did.
up in the back, like
I had
so
this.
stressed out.
I had to sit on the
Whoa.
How many
Because it's
stairs.
so
cigarettes did
personal.
he have in that one sitting?
Oh
Was
my
it
God, a
just like,
thousand
No,
cigarettes.
Allison, I had to sit on the stairs at the Opera House, because like to get up into the theater, you had to walk up this giant set of stairs. So I had to sit on the stairs, and I couldn't. So like every now and then, I'd be like, oh, this is a cringe moment of the show that I hate, and I would walk downstairs and smoke a cigarette and come back up, and rejoin. But like it was funny too, sitting there because like I could see the people that walked out. And like we did have a few people walk out occasionally, especially during the first song because the first song is called "What the Fuck." And like we just, there's some old people that would come to see the show and they didn't really appreciate the language. And so, but I like that though. I like that like within the first
Old
five
people don't
minutes, like
notice.
You
Trim
can
the
weed
fat
out.
right away.
yeah,
Yeah.
like you get the chance to leave if you want to, because this is what the show is. So it's like if you don't like this, you're not gonna like it. So just leave.
That could play well
Um,
too while I'm singing like a gesture to them while they
right, right.
leave.
Wave
so
at
really
them.
quickly,
The exit
Gerard and
doors.
Brian, are you only
Yeah, yeah.
allowed to do shows together if fuck is
I
somewhere in
would
the
love
song
that.
or the
Oh,
title?
I would just, I
Yeah.
thought just you
It's
could
in the
stop there. We're
rudder.
only allowed to do shows
Yeah.
together. That would be
We're only allowed to do shows together and have to
first
say
and
fuck at
foremost.
least.
And then, yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
there has to be
But
some,
Has to be
Some
sung.
cussing.
there has to be,
it
there
has
has
to
to be,
be sung.
there has to be sung and there has to be some swearing, some way for me to be
Some. I
bleeped
thought you
out.
said it has
Yeah.
to be sung.
No, but I like that
So
better.
good.
I thought
It
you
has
said
to be
sung too.
sung as well.
Ah!
It does. It
Yeah.
simply must.
Listen, one of the most
There's no other way to tell it.
popular songs in Spring Awakening is Totally Fucked. So there you go.
Never heard of it.
Wow.
So
Also, have you heard of American Idiot? I don't
no, I don't know what
remember.
that is.
Okay.
Trump. And so we
Listen,
were
in college, you dressed as one of the Dick in a Box guys, and you opened the box, and there was a photo of Dick Cheney in there. I will never forget
Oh
that.
don't
my
reveal
God.
That's
me on
good.
the podcast.
I
So
can also talk about another
no,
costume.
let's
You
not.
came
Let's
to my
move on.
apartment
No, let's
to
not. Let's
borrow a
not. Let's
blonde
not. Nope.
wig.
Nope. Nope. Nope.
Let's
Let's
move
move
on.
on.
All right. We're gonna move on, Allison. So the people it's an off-camera story. The people who came to see the show in Havre de Grace though, like the way that they responded was just like nuts. Like I've never had so many people like sit around waiting to meet me after a show and wanting to talk to me. It was the same way at 54 Below. It's like all these people wanting to talk to me and meet me and tell me how much this affected them with their own personal life. Like every single time somebody would come up to me, they would tell me about somebody that they lost. And so I realized at that point, because I said to Aiton before we even did the show, I was like, what is the point of this? Like, what's the message other than just like being like some sort of masturbatory like exploration of my own personal grief? You know what I mean? I'm like, if that's what it is, then we don't have a show. So there has to be some sort of message or theme behind this that like resonates with people. And that's when I realized like the show is about getting the permission to bring back to life somebody that you've lost for 2 hours, because this show is going to make you think of somebody that you have lost personally in your life. And, as time goes on after you lose somebody, you feel a lot more guilty thinking about them. You feel a lot more weird being depressed about it, because people expect you to get over those things. But there's some wounds that you don't get over them. You know what I mean? They leave a scar, right? Like, yes, the scar's healed, but the scar's always there. And I think that, for me personally, like I was feeling like I was in this place where I was like, I just like sometimes don't really feel the permission to be upset about this anymore, and there's no real time for me to talk about it because I've talked about it ad nauseum with people. So then I sound like a broken record again if I bring it up to somebody about that I'm depressed or I'm sad about this. You know what I mean? Like this month is the month of my brother's death, July. And so like every time around this month, I get very sad. You know what I mean? I get very depressed. But the show gives people that permission to think about that again and feel okay with thinking about that and taking that time to really kind of revel in that memory. you know? And that's the whole cardinal theme. I mean, it's bringing people back to life. Like, that saying, it's like, obviously, if you see a cardinal, it's a loved one that's coming back to see you. And after somebody dies, you're seeing cardinals all the time, and maybe it's just that you've never noticed them before, but
Yeah.
maybe it's not. You know what I mean? Maybe it's something deeper than that. Maybe it's that they are the spirit of that person. Maybe everything is interconnected. I don't know. I don't think any of us know. But like I think it just provided a very special outlet for people to be able to feel that and think that and like thank us for doing that. So everybody that we've brought on as investors, as actors, like our cast at 54 Below, like every single person in that cast is just so talented, and they all have their own stories and they all have their own personalities, and our cast is not a cookie cutter cast. I mean, our cast is full of real people who feel real things, and like this is not a coming of age story, this is an of age story about what life is like right now. So I think just to speak to your point there, it's like I think it really does touch people, and we've seen it touch people, and that's the point of it.
Yeah. So getting back to the 54 Below concert, because like I said, I was there. Eitan, how is it for you watching it? Because, a majority of the show was just the songs and little bits of dialogue here and there. So we didn't get
We talked about
all
that.
of what?
Just I asked him the same thing. Like we talked about that before previously.
Yeah. So what was it like for you and the feedback that you got?
Yeah, I mean it was great. It's funny, like when we did it in Haverty Grace, I remember that like I was saying, that first night I was sitting in the theater and I was so nervous. I was scared. I was losing my mind because I was like, what if this doesn't work? And then, a couple songs in, I was just smiling ear to ear because I realized like, oh man, this is working. Like it's gonna work. What's crazy is that when we did the 54 Below show, I, it was mostly the songs with a little bit of dialogue here and there, but it was mostly, a showcase of Brandon's work. But for some reason, I was even more nervous when I was sitting there watching the 54 Below show. I think there was a point when I kind of tried to just take it in and enjoy it, and I was realizing, oh man, like I'm almost having a hard time enjoying it because I'm just so nervous. Like I was so scared that something was gonna go horribly wrong. But yeah, but I think maybe, like the same thing happened, maybe three or four songs in. I looked over and I saw Brandon, who at the 54 at the Haverty Grace show, like I said, I was like trying to get him from the green room, and I could hear him like dry heaving in the bathroom. But I looked over at the 54 Below show, and Brandon was so locked in, just smiling and nodding his head. Like I had never seen him enjoy watching like one of our performances this way. He was all stress, all pressure had just completely melted away. And I feel like somehow I had just like taken it all over. But yeah, it
I will
was
say, Eitan, like that was the only time I've ever seen a production of my work where I just was able to like enjoy it,
Yeah, you just
and
sat there and you were just having a blast, like you were enjoying it. And I
Caitlin
remember
said the
we
same
talked
thing,
about how
man.
you were like, I can't watch my own shows. I get too nervous. But for some reason you were just loving it.
Yeah, Caitlin said to me, she was like, I've never seen you like enjoy like your work ever. And like looking over at you and like seeing you enjoy that was just insane because you never do that. But like it was just that enjoyable to me. Like I don't know, it
Well,
just felt like the culmination of everything coming together.
right, and not to mention you've got like, a bunch of your heroes on stage, people you've like admired your whole life on
Right,
stage
amazing
singing your
people.
music. I think that is a cool feeling to have. And yeah, it was I'm I'm so thankful and so proud of that cast. Just to shout out the whole cast. We have Brian and Gerard, but we also had such talented actors. I mean, we've got the girl who played the daughter. Her name is MK McDonald, and she brought just the coolest, like most
Yeah, MK is
incredible
awesome.
energy.
She's great.
Just such a sweetheart and just so talented. We have a girl who played Jack's ex-girlfriend named Emma Bussey, who was on American Idol. Famously, the girl who Katy Perry told she wanted to slap the musical theater out of her. Um, and
Emma is nuts. Her
I
voice is
think probably
insane.
the best singer, maybe the best singer I've heard like in person.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, she's unreal.
like she stops the room anytime she's
Dude,
singing.
when she went to that karaoke bar the other night that you hosted,
Yeah.
Brian,
Yeah,
like
Yeah.
yeah,
you could hear a pin drop. Everyone
yeah.
stopped and stared at her.
And
I've never
apparently that
seen
doesn't
that
And like
happen.
happen.
made her sing again. Yeah,
Yeah, no, literally
There's
people, I
this
mean,
moment.
yeah,
There's this moment in one of my songs that we tracked where she sings this
yeah.
little pop out line, and one of my main notes for the mix back was like, I want Emma's line to pop out more because she sounds so good on it, and it's like such a nice moment. Her voice is literally like if auto tune sounded natural and normal and control like a controlled voice, like her voice can literally do anything, and she is in
Yeah.
100% control of it. It's
masterful.
very, very impressive to listen to. Yeah.
And then obviously, we've got a couple more. There's the person who played the support group leader named Larson, which is a tip of the hat to Jonathan Larson. His name is Michael
Who?
Andreas, and he is on MJ the Musical right now, as well as I think he did the Ain't Too Proud tour. He is, I mean, what a talent that guy can sing,
Yeah.
but also brings such like beautiful emotional depth to his character as well. And then yeah, we've got Ken Jennings, who is, I mean, such a character. He was the original Toby and Sweeney Todd. We
Yes.
have Freddie Walker Brown, who
Yes,
you know
man.
was the original Joanne in Rent. And so it's just, I mean, just like all these talented, incredible people. And then obviously we've got our ensemble too. You know, Hannah Brudnock, Grace Runberg, Cannon Gowan, um, Will Cobb. Uh, who am I forgetting? I feel like there's one more.
Lindsay joined us for the EP
This isn't
recording.
a
And
Tony
then,
speech, Aiton.
well, no, I just, you know,
Yeah, I love it.
Not yet. It's
you got
gonna.
to shout out all the people
This is
that
really
supported
Who
good.
else
us.
do I think? Don't play me off yet.
Play him off.
But
Brandon, play on your
and I
music.
gotta thank God as well. But you know, truthfully, they all brought such amazing energy, and they were all, I mean,
Yeah,
I'm just so thankful that we
they were
had them
amazing
because
people.
Yeah, no, I mean the
they were
incredible thing about this cast is that like everyone is so amazing in their own like unique way, yet we all can come together as this like cohesive I mean we all sound just so great
Yeah.
together like and it's pretty effortless and yeah,
mhm.
I mean
And
it's just
you know,
amazing like what every single person brings to
I
just
think
strengthens the whole uh
and
cast every time anyone's introduced. It's awesome.
big
Yeah.
shout out to Annalise Levesque who transcribed the show. And Rachel Sandler has been with us since, you
Yeah.
know, we started the 54 Below journey into the concept recording EP. And she's just been a fantastic music director and has just been you know, like leading the band, like putting together the music, like she's done a ton for us and she's really championed the show with other people. So we're very, very thankful to have her be a big part of it. She's a very incredibly talented music director, vocal coach, great person. So yeah, she's been a big part of this thing too. And then you know, my partner Caitlin is doing social media for it. Amazing, you know, social media. Like we had recently, we were at the studio recording the concept EP with Caleb. What's Caleb's last name?
Schoberg.
Schoberg, Caleb. He's such an incredible engineer, and
Yeah, Caleb's awesome.
he just opened up a studio up in Harlem called
so it's amazing.
yeah,
Manhattan Artists Crossing,
Yeah,
it's
Max
Max.
awesome,
Studios.
Yeah.
awesome studio.
Yeah,
Really,
it's
really
literally just
cool.
like a studio in his basement, and I mean,
Yep.
it's so cool. It's such a
He has this awesome live room, and then he has this great mixing room, and then he has an
Yeah.
isolated vocal room. And the vocal isolation is like some of the best ISO I've
Yeah.
ever
Yeah.
recorded
Yeah,
ever as a professional singer. And
Yeah.
like it's been what, Brian, like almost three
Yeah. Yeah.
decades of us being in this industry, and it's like, bro,
It was it was like night and day than anything I've ever
yeah,
recorded into before.
it's so
Yeah.
much
highly
fun.
recommend Max Studios.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they were such good people too. I mean, it was just a great experience. And we're going back to the studio in
Yeah.
a few weeks, I think, to finish the EP.
I gotta book
Um
that.
yeah. I know, I know. I know, Gerard. Look, we're we're trying to figure it out. All right, we'll off chain about that. All right, but yeah, we're just going back in to finish it up, and it's just been such an incredible experience. Like the album is coming along so beautifully, and it's going to be about 8 tracks, 7 to 8 tracks, I think. But it's some of the bangers from the show, so it's going to be wild. I think
I'm
it's
going to
going to be.
stop you because you've been doing a lot of talking and I haven't been able to ask my question about the EP.
It's all right. It's all right.
So,
Cut
you
me
guys
off.
are coming out with an EP album. Let's
Yes.
talk
Hey,
about it.
Yes.
how'd you know?
It's just like this psychic ability I have, And you guys also have a
Um,
single coming out as well this
we do.
month.
We do. So
And I
so
Oh,
feel
we're
like I know what it's going to be, but I don't want to say it just in case I'm wrong.
do you think it's going to be burning?
No,
What do you think it's going to be?
I think it's going to be Fallback.
No.
Oh,
Oh,
No. It'll be
okay.
burning.
So I
Burning.
was wrong.
You were wrong, which is
did
good.
you did you
Okay, it
go and listen to all
happens.
the songs and that's your favorite one from the?
Well, no, I figured because Emma just sounds amazing on it, you probably
Mm.
wanted to lead
And
with that.
you don't
That's
think
fine.
Gerard does?
I think he's fine. I've heard
off,
him in other
off chain,
things.
off
I
chain.
I
don't.
saw him
I
as
don't.
Lester
Yeah,
Bangs.
off the
I know
chain.
what's
Yes,
up.
man.
That's
I don't
right.
sound as good on fallback as Emma does. That's
That's
Yeah. I would love to
No,
hear the Gerard version of that and then also like a Brian version
The
of it.
whole EP is actually just all of our attempts at
yeah.
duets, and then
yeah.
it just leads
I thought
up
you were going
to
to say
Emma's, which is
the
the
EP is
best.
just all Gerard singing
It's
all
just all
the
me
It's
singing.
I
yeah,
mean,
Yeah. And he's
it's
doing all
Gerard
the
does the
vocal
hits.
harmonies
Yeah,
at the end.
well, I mean, the
Gerard
EP,
takes a stroll down Foxbrier Lane.
I would, you know what
the
though? Rufus Wainwright, didn't he
I
do
love
like
Rufus.
an all version of like a Taylor Swift album or something?
Did he?
Oh, that
There
was
was some
Ryan
musician who,
Adams, are you talking about?
yeah, someone did
Adam.
like,
Yeah, Ryan Adams. He got
yeah,
canceled.
Yeah, he's like
got
Voldemort now.
canceled.
You can't talk about
Yeah, right.
Whatever. I don't even like
Yeah.
Taylor Swift, so like, whatever.
him.
oh no, the Swifties are going to come after you.
I love her. I love
Let
her. And
them.
if
I
there's
don't.
I
any
love Taylor
Swifties,
Swift.
yeah, if there's
Yeah,
any Swifties listening to this, please support this show.
big
We
fan,
love
big
her.
fan.
Yeah,
Oh,
We'll
listen,
change it to
I'm not going to get
Swiftbriar
into
Lane,
my
I swear to
reasonings,
God.
but like,
And Beyonce fans.
Yeah, we love the Bayhive. We're part of the Bayhive. All
listen,
of
I
us.
do
oh God,
enjoy Beyonce. So,
yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
but Allison, quick thing about fallback though, which I
okay,
do want to
tell
thank
me.
I want to thank Danielle Bouchard. Do you know Danielle?
Of course I know
Yes.
Danielle. We went to college with her.
Yeah, Lux Tide. She so Danielle recorded the original demo of
Oh,
she used to
wow.
actually Danielle and I used to we worked together at Indie Food and Wine selling, waters and whatnot. But she recorded the
Selling
original
waters.
selling waters
For
and whatnot.
indie food and wine,
Uh
selling waters.
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't
Was it
expect
like
anyone to
in
call me out on that, Aiton.
biodegradable, like
Yeah, when
It
containers
was
drinking
for
the
a it
water,
was a
indie
the water
prank
was
story.
food and
the water
wine?
was free.
It was a
um
Catholic store. They turned your
Was
water
it
into
from like a
wine.
natural spring with the hippies?
Yeah, it was great. No, so but we, she used to be like a waiter, and I was the manager at Indie Food and Wine. And yeah, I mean, like, Danielle's been one of my greatest friends since my freshman year of college. But when I was recording this song, I asked her to put together like a demo for it. And she did, and it was great. And she like changed up some stuff, you know what I mean? She like we changed the key to fit her, and then her and I kind of jumped on a call, and we kind of really worked on the song and like made the song far better than it was before. So Danielle actually, I gave her writing credit on that song as well,
Great.
because yeah, she's, I mean, amazing talent. So props to Danielle.
We love you, Danielle.
Yeah.
Snaps.
um
And I
but
met
yes.
Danielle randomly like through the punk rock world. So
Did
like,
you?
yeah, dude, she's like friends with mutual friends who were in
Oh, that's
bands.
so funny.
Like, she would come to some Dude Ranch shows with a friend of
Mm.
hers that I knew better. Like, it was just crazy, like how this world is so small.
Yeah.
Like the theatrical world and the rock and roll world, everyone's kind of just out here doing performing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
any sort of facet and collaborating, which I think that's why also the music in Foxbrier is cool, because you do things like you collaborate with this like pop artist
Yeah.
and you create a song like Fall Back for the show that
Yeah.
still feels true to the show, but is also like you have this outside perspective. And I think that's what's great about it.
Yeah, I mean, she helped to make that song so much better. I always liked that song, it didn't work until I heard her do it. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So yeah, I mean, Danielle's such a very talented person. So, yeah, I mean, the concept EP, we're currently working on it. I think we're trying to get the first single "Burnin'" out by July 28th. So we're, fingers crossed. I don't know when this is going out, but if it's out, please listen to it. If it, hopefully we've announced it by this point. Yeah,
Which
but
July 28th is the anniversary of Brandon's brother's death as well.
yeah, so that's why we want to
Crazy.
do it that
5 days
day.
after my birthday. So
Yeah.
Oh, it'll be like a special birthday present for you
happy
too.
birthday to me.
I'm so
Yeah, but
excited about it,
we're really
Gerard.
excited.
He's like
Just a
another
weird,
year older. Are
just
we
a
going
weird
back to Les Mis at the end of the day or another day older?
exactly.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Can you sing Little People for us right now?
No.
I will say though, I
Can
did
you
see
sing
Les
Short
Mis at the
People?
Kennedy Center this
Short,
past weekend.
Randy Newman,
Uh,
short people, bro. Actually,
no
first of all,
reason.
it's so funny you say that, Brian, because I've fallen down a hole of listening to Randy Newman songs for like the past 2 days
Yeah,
straight.
he'll get
I
you.
love Randy Newman,
They
man.
got little hands,
Yeah, it's me, Randy
little
Newman.
eyes,
Oh my God.
walking around
You
telling
know
My
that
dad loves
song,
that song.
lies.
My
Yeah.
that
dad loves
song
that
was
song.
legitimately banned in the radio from Maryland.
Yeah, I sang that
Yeah.
song for my
Did
Matilda
you?
audition. I had to audition to
Amazing.
play
You
the
weren't in Matilda, were you?
bitch, nah, but they loved it. I had to audition to play the younger brother, the Taylor Trench role. Shout out to Taylor
Mm.
Trench. Love you, bitch. Uh, I had to audition for that and talk. He has no spoken lines. He has no, it's all physical. So I was like, I'm just gonna do short people, but I'm gonna do it in a British accent. Uh,
Oh,
short
nice.
people got no reason. I was
So
like,
it's just Michael Caine.
yeah, no reason to live Michael Caine.
I love
Yeah,
that.
I would have hired
I
you
believe
right
it's
away.
Michael
Yeah.
Caine.
They got
This is
little
great.
hands, little arms.
I think that should be the bonus track on the EP, just to bring
We
some
might make it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that might be
yeah.
it.
Really
Well,
take it up
actually,
for
If we can
speak.
get Randy on board, yeah.
Dude, I wish. I
Yeah, I
wish.
did not
Get
book.
us back on track, Allison, please.
Wait, Allison, you were talking though. You said you made a joke and you were like, "Oh, Gerard, you're just all over this album." Gerard is actually all over this
Hold on,
album because
Brandon. I will
what?
get there.
Oh my God, I don't know what your line of questioning is. How am I
Well,
Well,
supposed
no,
to
because
just let
know?
her do it.
I
All
don't
right.
mean to sound rude, but you have talked so much that I'm literally like, well,
All
that was
right,
the
I'm not.
question I was gonna
I'm not
ask,
gonna
so
say.
we
I'm
could
not
just
gonna
keep
say it.
going.
I'm going on mute.
Mute.
No,
Yeah,
it's
that's
He
what
goes
fine.
happens
on
when
mute.
you
Thank
ask them
God.
back
Back
in.
on
You're
mute.
right.
Thank God.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm
on
taking
mute.
over my
I'm muting
podcast.
myself again.
No, it's fine. So listen, sometimes that happens. I'll have questions and then I'll be like, oh, they already answered my question. They can just keep talking. It's fine.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
getting back to what Brandon was about to announce,
Yes.
that Gerard, you're also a producer on the album. Is that what you're gonna say, Brandon? Are you gonna nod because you're now muted?
No, I wasn't gonna say that, but now you'll never know what I was gonna say
Oh, that's
because
fine. You can go back on mute.
you
Just
cut
think of
off
the
my line.
mayonnaise
I'm going back
in
on
the
mute. This
fryer.
is ridiculous. Yes, man.
Yes, man. Yes. It just kind of happened because like at first, this idea was proposed to like do my song or songs. Like I didn't really know how many we were doing at first, we were kind of figuring it out. But I've always been very, Brandon and Aiton have been like very open communication wise with the show and like what they want, what they're looking for, and vice versa. Like I want the show to succeed. Like from
Yeah.
a forming standpoint, like I want to be on stage doing this. I don't want to, keep just thinking about doing it. I want to make it happen. So let's make it get in front of the right people. And how do we do that? Blah, blah, blah. So then they were like, actually, can you play drums too? Would you be willing? And I was like, fuck yeah, we figured it out. I didn't realize it was going to be like 8 songs, but we made it happen. But then it was like they didn't have a bass player. They were going to fly in bass basically like after the fact. And I was being a little diva about it, being like, yeah, but as a drummer, like playing without a bass player is weird because you're not locking in with anybody. Like I don't, and our piano player is amazing. Like Rachel was, our MD is like insanely great, but like there's only so much you can do with a piano player playing the bass line as opposed to a bass player like really laying it down or just a bass in general.
Yeah.
So what we figured out was that I would just also track the bass. So I ultimately didn't get to play with the bass player, but I was able to also track the bass. I lost that battle, but ultimately won the war there, I guess, because then I played bass on it. And then there were a few guitar parts that I played. I just ended up being all over this album unexpectedly. And also I love being in the studio. Like I just really love
Yeah.
being. So
Background harmonies too. You did a bunch of
yeah, oh
background
yeah.
harmonies.
But
Yeah, that's right. You did background vocals.
even if I wasn't called, like I knew the guys would be there and whoever was recording that day, it's like down the street from where I was staying, with Brian. And so I'm like, why the hell not? Like, let's go. Like I'm gonna stop by, pop in, see how it's going. But like I don't do that with other projects. Like I genuinely very much care about this project. And I was like excited to go in. Like I remember Emma was tracking her songs. So I wanted to make sure I was there for at least a little bit of it or a lot of it. So I got there like super early and was able to listen to it. And it was like very exciting because you're in the control room, you're listening with
Yeah.
Brandon, Aiton, you got Caleb and you're all bouncing ideas and thoughts off of each other. And ultimately I ended up giving a lot of opinions, which these guys were very gracious to let me give. And um Brandon and Aiton both approached me about, yeah, like, how would you feel about being credited as a producer? And also, what are you looking for as a producer? I mean to you.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a funny conversation because, like, truly what it means to me is I just want the show to do well. Like, I just want it to get in front of the right people.
Yeah.
So if I can approach somebody and say, hey, I'm a producer on this thing, and
Yeah.
it's somebody who is a producer in another facet, like my producer quote unquote aspect would be shopping this around to try to fundraise and get money out of people. Like that's kind of my role, right? Like
Yeah.
every producer has their strengths and their weaknesses, like if we're going to talk business about it. And
Yeah.
I'm not going to claim to be like, yes, I'm going to give you guys like $50,000 to do your next reading. Like that's not happening for me.
Damn.
I can find somebody who has $50,000 that might also be looking to invest in a project like this, that is looking for a story that has to do with something like this, and I think the beautiful thing about this piece is that it's not just like no offense to a jukebox musical or a feel good, whatever show, because I think we need those too. And I think every show has substance. It's not like I'm saying they don't. Like I think to make it to Broadway,
Mhm.
there's always like a touch of substance somewhere in the show.
Mhm.
And it's no shade, no tea, but this show is literally a true story being told in a grand fashion.
Mhm.
Um, while there are fabricated elements, the actual root of it is very true. And it's like the kind of feeling I felt when I saw like a Next to Normal or when I saw Rent, right? You watch these people on stage, like they're in that moment. Like even if you arrived at the theater, like that's what I found so captivating about like Rent. I was like in high school. I didn't know shit about shit. And I show up and these people are in the midst of the AIDS crisis in New York. And it's like they're all dealing with like no one has money. It's like I was not aware of this lifestyle, and I'm immediately dropped in to this story, this true thing about family and love and friendship, and this like that to me is Foxbrier Lane. Like there's this beautiful amalgamation of like yes, it's a musical theater show. Yes, there are the I Want songs, right? But the I Want song comes in the form of me getting lit on fire. It's not like, and at the end of it, I raise my fist and the lights go out. It's like actually the lights are burning because I'm on fire. So it's like, there's like there's like a darker aspect to the storytelling we can do. We can do the classic musical theater storytelling, but in a really twisted and dark way, which I
Mhm.
found exciting. So I have a lot of ideas. I'm like really excited that I can actually share them with the creative team. And that was kind of my only thing is that like we can try to get it in front of the right directors, the right music directors, the right choreographers, the right producers. Da, 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 da. All I ask is that my input matters in the future, right? Like as a producer, I just want to make sure you understand like I take this very seriously and I want it to succeed. And I feel like Brian and I both have connections of people that we have worked with together in the past that would like absolutely crush this fucking thing. So like
Yeah.
why not? Why not try to get this in front of the right people? Because maybe they're waiting for this, and they don't even know it. So and it's rare, man. We get a lot of projects. We work on a lot of theater. And this is one of those really special things that I feel very passionate about. Like Brandon keeps saying,
Yeah.
like, we really appreciate you throwing yourself behind it. Da, da, da. It's like, duh, it's really good. It's really
Mhm.
very good.
Mhm. Mhm.
It made me fall in love with theater in that way again that I used to when I was like in high school, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a
Brian,
lot
how
of aspects that are exciting. Yeah.
yeah, I can tell you're very smiling and excited. You're sitting
Yeah.
sideways. It's a good thing.
Love
Brian, how
theater.
is it for you recording the EP? Do you feel that you were able to put your input in, and do you feel that if you had an
Oh
idea?
yeah, we didn't listen to Brian at all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Sorry,
no,
then I
that's
take the
I'm glad you
question
brought it
back.
up. I've been meaning to address this.
Yeah, he
Please,
sent notes
you
in,
have the
but we
No,
just
it was
platform.
it's
right.
I
amazing. I
can
mean,
mute
this whole
everybody
process,
except you at this point.
no, this whole process has been like so easy, as far, I mean, we put in so much work and of course there's been that part of it, but I mean, as far as like just it's been effortless. And getting to record the music, after getting, I'm glad we got to like do the 54 below thing, and I kind of had like a crash course on all of the music and remembering doing all the book work that was still in there too, and like this was just focusing on, for me, like a few songs and just getting them down, and like I felt ready, and the atmosphere that Caleb provided at Max Studios was like we touched on earlier. Some of the it just felt like when I was singing, it was already mixed and like it was already halfway there, like mixed, because it just sounded so pure and amazing. And yeah, I mean, I don't remember what the original question was now that I'm rambling a little bit, but
It's okay.
I mean,
It's
I
late at
love
night.
recording. There's no like safer place for me than like in an ISO booth getting to sing something that like I know is just like right in my wheelhouse, and like I can tap into the pain of his lyrics and my own way, but like it just, I don't know, everything just felt so right in the moment when we were recording all of the songs.
Mhm.
Like when I was on the couch listening to Gerard sing it, like it sounded the same thing. It sounded like mixed again. Caleb's design of the sound is just it already sounded so special right out the can. Like I
Yeah.
can't I can't wait to hear after everything's done with it.
Yeah.
There was something very intimate about singing into that microphone. It felt very like
Booth is so
Yeah.
nice.
vulnerable. The way he placed it in the room, like I can nerd
Yeah.
out all day long. But I also remember like Rachel came in and I was singing something. I forget what it was. And Rachel was like, "Oh, this sounds great. Is this live?" And you guys were like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
It was like,
Yeah.
"Wait, this is like happening right
Yeah.
now?"
It was
We're like,
burning. It
"Yeah,
was burning.
it was
Yeah.
Yeah, it
very."
was
She
burning.
came
Yeah.
in, she was like shocked that you were singing live in the booth at the moment.
It's like the
Yeah.
way it was sounding was like coming out already. Like Caleb was like,
Yeah.
and Caleb also really cared. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
he would like
It
really
does.
he would give so many great ideas, and he was clearly very excited to have us there. And so
Yeah.
you work with so many engineers and so many studios that are just like, all right, who do we have today? Well, from 10
Right.
to 1 we have this guy, and then from 2 to this and that. It's just like he actually was like, oh,
He
you're an
cared.
artist that we look forward to having here for 3 days. Like
Yeah.
we are setting our studio up, and
Well,
like let's talk about tomorrow, and like what's
that's
it.
what's so full circle for me is that Caleb, like I met Caleb like a little over a year ago, walking my dog in a neighborhood. He used to live over by me, and then he moved into this place, and like uh he was like a very integral part of like me going through my own stuff in the past couple of years, of just having someone to talk to, because he went through similar stuff, and like we got really close, but now we're like full circle of like, oh yeah, you produce music, and like I'm a singer, actor, and being able to like that whole time when we got into the studio, I was like, whoa, this is so like crazy full circle. And then it was like the best harmony that could have happened of
Yeah,
like collaboration for everyone to be involved, that is. So yeah,
He
it's
was
just
so
one. I
nice.
feel like that's been the story with Foxbrier as it's developed, is like we keep getting like key pieces that just absolutely fit perfectly in, and it's like not a question, and there's just so
Yeah.
much of that.
Now
That I
we're
can't
looking
wait to like
direct.
keep that going. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. To keep
Who?
building on that and like hopefully get a workshop going and keep going from there.
So I listened to the songs because I was sent them in the press kit. Who is singing the Florence role on the EP?
That is something that we are currently figuring out.
Okay, I thought you were about to say it was Gerard.
It is not.
Right? Yeah,
No, it's gonna be
absolutely.
Aiton this time. Aiton.
It's me. Yeah, it's me.
It's
Um,
Gerard. Sorry, I
that is
just
It
like
was
saying your
really
name
good.
that way. I can't
yes.
help it. It's just fun.
Which way?
Gerard. In a
Gerard.
very bad French accent.
Oh, it's
That is to be
Allison. I love
announced,
it.
Allison.
It's TBD.
TBD, but
Yeah.
it will happen soon. We're gonna announce it. But right now, the track that you heard was Rachel Sandler doing scratch vocals. So that's our music director singing with
Okay,
MK.
perfect. I
Yeah.
was just curious because I even wrote a note about it on my notes. Thank you.
TBD.
Come on,
So,
TBD.
doing the work.
yes. I always say with this podcast, we like to manifest things on here. I take full responsibility for someone manifesting them being in Shakespeare in the Park because literally, like a year after the podcast episode I did with them, when they said they want to do Shakespeare in the Park, a year later they got cast in a production of Shakespeare in the Park. So I take full responsibility for that. So, with that being
Great.
said, we're
Right.
manifesting right now. Where and what? I know what do we want for this show? Where do we see it going? What are we hoping for? Aside from me directing it, what do we see? You guys can laugh at that. It's fine. What are our hopes for it? And this is for each and every one of you.
It should run for a very long time. So it should be in a space where it can invite enough people to make that happen. I
Hmm.
think the show could theoretically be a Broadway show. However, I think the show could have a really nice New York life and some cool, hip, off Broadway space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe something that's more inviting to alternative theater, because
Yeah.
it's not like a New World Stages show. It's not like you're gonna go bring your kids to the bubble show and then at night when you put them to bed,
Well, it
you're gonna
doesn't cost like $20 million to produce.
yeah, and
Right.
we want to like
Not yet.
you want to make it affordable
Right.
too. Like there's not enough affordable theater, and I feel like this story could really help people, and it could really help young people, and young people can't afford to see theater. And if people see theater that's targeted towards younger-ish people, even people that are my age, that are in their 30s, that are going through something, like, man, I could have used a story like this when I was going through some
Yeah.
shit,
Hmm.
you know?
Well, right now, just the like, I mean, Broadway in general is way too expensive, way too expensive. And I don't
Yeah.
know when that's ever going to change, but I can't imagine it could keep getting higher and people are going to like be full seats all the time if it keeps going that way. I don't
I
know.
think affordability is such a big thing. And like one of the
Yeah.
things that Aiton and I have always talked about, like when it comes to this show, is like wherever we do this and however it happens, this question for me is kind of twofold because like number one, like I want this show to be accessible. Like I want people to be able to see this who want to see it. And so like I've struggled a lot in my head with like what do we have to bake into the contract to make that happen? Because not only do I want people to be able to see it, but I want this show to actually help to change lives of people. And so a percentage of this show, whatever this show does or makes, it has to be donated. It has to
Hmm.
be donated to homeless shelters. Like, and so I thought about like, Rent was the one that created the Rush tickets, right? Or the Lotto, right? I think it was.
Yeah, a
And
lot.
they $25 or whatever it was, and you could come and buy the tickets. I want to do a lotto for this show, and I've thought about this a lot, but I think a good idea is to do a lotto for this show, and the first 50 tickets or whatever that are sold, every single one of them are pay what you can. And if you want to pay $1, that's great. If you want to pay $10,000, that's great. But like most of that money, if not all of that money, is going towards homeless shelters. So it's pay what you can. So if you can't afford more than $1, you pay $1 to come see it. And it's, available to everybody. I mean, like it's a timed thing. You go on there and you do it. You know what I mean? But you pay $1 if you can. You pay $10,000. But that money, every day, we're donating money to homeless shelters.
And let's be clear, it's either $1 or $10,000.
Right. There's no in between.
That's the only option. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
For
So
just
that's
$1 a day.
Yeah.
You could see
You too
Foxbrier
can
Lane.
help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
right. That's number one though, and number two just simply is because Gerard, you just kind of hit the nail on the head when you were like, people are looking for like that kind of a show. It's interesting because for us and people that weren't in it, we did kind of have that show in Spring Awakening. Like Spring Awakening is kind of the millennials version of Rent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so we did have that. And so like in my head, I just want this show to affect somebody to the point of where they create something else. Like I was affected by Spring Awakening. I was affected by Rent. Those shows made me create this show. I want to just continue that cycle of art and like have some little kid that's in the middle of bumfuck nowhere listen to the show and have it touch them and have it make them feel something that makes them then go and write about their own experience and continue that cycle of art.
Yeah. I mean, I think just us getting a platform to do this in any capacity is kind of the like what we're looking for at this moment, and like just to keep it going from there. I don't know that you really can like necessarily plan a path that we're navigating. I mean, Lord knows we're trying, but like a lot of this is also like you find it along the way as you keep pushing forward, and like I think we'd all love for it to get to the end game of like the greatest option ever that could be, but like I think we just want to get this to the workshop level now and then keep getting it to the point where we can like do a production somewhere and then just let that kind of do the talking too from it, because I think it's gonna turn some heads a little bit. Yeah,
Exposure I think is like key.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like,
And I'm hoping that this helps me launch my hip hop career. So
right, which is like
Aiton, what's your hip hop name?
White shirt.
Actually, he has the dreadlocks back. Yeah.
He is plain white.
it's the Hebrew Hammer.
The Hebrew
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No mayo on the side.
But yeah, I think obviously
it's
like
a small
hopefully our
Shahardy har har.
I think our next step hopefully will be some sort of developmental lab in the city. So if you're listening and you want to help us out, reach out.
Yeah, come on.
How can they reach out? What are the best avenues for someone to, if they want to help out in any way or donate in any way, how can they do that?
Slide into the DMs, man.
Yeah, slide into the DMs. We do have
DMs.
Gerard.
You guys got to promote yourself.
We've got our Foxbrier Lane Instagram, which is just Foxbrier Lane.
Also, do you guys have like an email though for it?
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah. So we're on Instagram as at Foxbrier Lane. Email, we're foxbrierlane@gmail.com. We also reach out to us. I mean, if you want to, you can reach out again, like Gerard said, via DM, however you want to. Like we have a constantly running GoFundMe. So if anyone ever wants to make donations, we would love those. And also again, just real quick, like shout out to, we have an investor named Michael Scott who helped us put this EP together as well. So like just want to thank Michael for that.
And who is also a producer on the EP.
Right, he's also
Did you
a
get
producer.
him a World's Best Boss mug, or did he buy that himself?
Oh my God, I don't know how he feels about that comparison, so I'm gonna.
Also, shout out to Michael
the
Scott.
wrong person, because I am a very big fan of The Office.
Yeah,
so.
he probably never gets that.
Right, not one.
Shout out to Michael Scott, who just started his own theater company called the New York Theater Company, and they just did they're still actually running their inaugural performance of Machinal at the city center, and I saw it a couple weeks ago and it's phenomenal. Highly recommend. I think there's like a couple days left to see it, so by the time you release this it might be too late, but definitely like keep an eye out for New York Theater Company. I think they're going to do some really cool stuff.
Yeah, so Foxbrier Lane across socials or foxbrierlane@gmail.com. Feel
Or
free.
yeah, Foxbrier Lane could go to New York Theater Company is what I'm hearing.
But we'll see.
Hit up Michael.
Potentially.
I'm
everyone email Michael
you said
Scott.
manifest it. Here I am manifesting it,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Wow.
So before we
Word.
end, is there anything you guys like to add? Problems, questions, concerns, life advice, anything you want to throw out there?
Hmm.
No, we're all nodding our heads no. Are we just tired and ready for bed?
And we've been at this
Yeah.
for like 2 hours. It's been a great conversation, though. This has been no, really, Allison. It's been fantastic. It's been great
Yeah,
Yeah, it's been
thank
good.
again.
you.
No, thank you so much for having
Thank
us.
Yeah,
you
of
for
course.
having us. Yeah.
It's only been like 5 months in the making.
That's true.
But
Not
that's how
even
long
joking.
honestly, that's
I
sometimes
hope it
how
lived
long it
up to the
takes to get a
hype.
hold of us. Yeah.
No, it's fine. No, because it was
Well,
so funny too
Allison,
when like Brandon finally was like, "We're ready." Because I said to myself, "I wonder if Brandon's ever going to reach out to me." And I shit you not, like a few hours later, Brandon was like, "Hey, we're ready to come on your podcast now." And I was like, "I
I
literally
feel like that's how this whole
Yeah.
like thing has
Not
been. It's just like
worried.
Yeah,
lots of
yeah,
little
yeah,
serendipitous moments like that
yeah,
where
for
things
sure.
just line up, they work out. It's
Mhm.
just it's kismet.
Yeah.
Allison, what did you think of the 54 Below show? You didn't
Well,
tell us how
aside
you
from
felt.
me being like really depressed that I lost my job, honestly, I was not that upset because I hated that job, but my bank account was going to be upset. No, I
Hmm.
really enjoyed it. It was great. And it was also, great to support my college friends and see people I went to college with and hear these really great songs. And yeah, it was also 5 months ago, so I don't remember it too much, but I do
She
remember
hated
enjoying
it.
a lot of it.
Sounds like she hated it. Cool, cool,
Yeah,
cool.
she
I
hated
did. It
it.
was
She thought it was
terrible. It was
terrible.
the worst thing I've seen
What
at
a what a
54
what a
Below.
depressing way
You
to end
walked right
this.
into that one, Aiton.
I did. I
Logged
did.
into
Sometimes
the
it's better to just not
podcast.
ask, Aiton.
No,
Jesus.
it's also like 10, 11 at night, and I'm very
Yeah,
tired. So my
yeah,
brain
me too.
trying, I remember what I
Yeah.
was wearing. I
But
remember I
not
had
the show.
fries.
Me too.
Yeah, because I was the cheapest thing on the menu. And
Hmm.
I remember, like I told you, I went to the bathroom and that girl had that experience. But I do remember saying to myself, because that's also why I really love theater, is the reactions that people have to
Yeah.
performances and how it affects them. And that's what's so great about certain pieces, like the show, how it can really affect people and how it gets to them, and how they can share this message with other people. And yeah, what we've been talking about for.
I think we were super lucky to have that audience that night too. I mean, it was I think like a 9:30 p.m. Wednesday
Yeah, it was
show and
late.
we sold out the
Yeah.
whole place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the audience was, I mean, it you could like Gerard was saying, like you could really feel they were just so receptive to the material.
I'm not gonna lie, I think there were some people there specifically because Brian and Gerard were both in Spring Awakening. I'm not
Yeah,
joking. I feel like
That's
probably
why we
right.
cast him.
Spring
Yeah.
Awakening
Yeah.
people. Hey, you've heard of American Idiot, right, Brandon?
What
Yeah,
is that?
just making sure.
What show?
All right.
Yeah. It's the show that was on Broadway at the St. James for like a year.
Never heard of it.
Oh
Nope.
Yeah,
yeah,
that
Must
one.
must have been
yeah.
trash.
Yeah. They made a
There was trash
documentary about it and
on the stage.
everything.
Is
Yeah.
it who wrote it? It was a Sondheim show?
It was.
Yeah, it was yeah,
Oh my God, imagine American
Andrew
originally.
Idiot
Lloyd
as a
Webber.
Sondheim show. That I would like to see.
It's yeah, I mean it's like
American
assassins.
Phantom of the Idiot.
All
Yeah.
right,
Bad
we're on
joke.
that's the next show. We're writing that
Oh
tonight.
man, that's a moneymaker right there.
Yeah. No, but
Yeah,
An
just
Allison,
all
immersive
the
American
hits.
Idiot.
All the hits and styles.
Allison,
Yeah.
we're gonna go on for like 3 more hours, so you can just leave the Zoom if you no, no.
Well, I'm going to end the recording. You guys can stay on. Everybody, thank you for listening to the podcast. Foxbrier Lane EP will come out at some point. The single is coming out July when? 28th?
28th, I think.
July
April.
28th for
Yeah.
the single. I think for the EP to release is probably going to be sometime around September or October.
That's fine. In the fall,
Yep.
it kind of works. I feel like Foxbrier Lane is like
Yeah.
an autumn-esque
It's a fall show.
show. Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
vibe
Autumnal
I got.
vibes.
You got
Works
the
folky
cardinal on
fall. Yeah, pumpkin spice for everyone.
that song
All
has
right.
written.
What's that?
Yeah.
That song has
Yeah,
The
we need to
song?
write a pumpkin spice
Yeah,
song.
pumpkin spice for
That's when
everyone.
Gerard's. That's going to be the comedic moment of the show.
That's
Gerard's
it.
going to come
That's
out with his like pumpkin spice latte, and Brian's going to be like, "But I made a sandwich.
that's
with
actually
it in the air fryer."
pumpkin spice is actually Aiton's rap name.
That's right.
It's gonna come in
Yeah.
covered in
It's
mayonnaise.
the big
We're not gonna-
yeah.
Hellman, shout out Hellman, shout out Dukes, shout
Miracle
out
Whip.
giant store brand mayonnaise, which I love. It's on a
Pumpkin
discount.
spice mayo. Yeah.
Instead
my
of
God.
lighting me on
Also-
fire, they're gonna just cover me in mayonnaise and suffocate me to death with
We'll
mayonnaise.
do it for the right investment for
I
sure.
know you
Trader
will,
Joe's
dude.
had a pumpkin
That's only
spice.
on OnlyFans, maybe.
I got you. Yeah,
Oh my God.
only
Listen, if you
mayo.
want to raise more money.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
gotta do what you gotta do.
yeah.
All right,
You got a
Gerard.
mayonnaise quirk? Come see.
Who
Fuck.
knew mayo was flammable?
All right, everyone. Well,
All right,
while
well-
you're listening to the EP that comes out in the fall with your pumpkin spice latte and your sandwich filled with mayonnaise, please remember this moment. I think this is a great place to end it. Thanks, everyone.